Tonight we're back on the dirt. It's sprint cars and stock cars. It's Operation Green Flag, Mission Merrittville Speedway, next on G-Force TV. Once again, race fans, we are back at Merrittville Speedway for our third tour of duty. We're back on the dirt, and we've got three divisions of very tough competition. My name's Greg Kellner. With me, as always, Clinton Jeffrey, and filling in tonight for Adam Ross is Clayton Johns.
Thanks a lot, Greg. We're back at Merrittville Speedway, and tonight we've got the 360 Sprint Cars, the Action Sprint Tour Crate Sprint Cars, and the Thunderstocks all here tonight. In the 360 Sprint Car division, this gentleman behind me, Corey Turner in car number 13. He was the bridesmaid twice last weekend and wants to be in victory lane here tonight. In the number 29 machine, we've got Liam Martin. He raced to a win in the Crate Sprint Cars last Saturday night and a 360 podium finish in his number 29 as well. And keep an eye on the black and yellow number 28 of Jordan Poirier. He's platted his wallet lots over the course of this summer here, making the long 8-hour hole from Quebec to Ontario a couple of times this season. We'll send things over to Clinton.
Thanks a lot, Clayton. Well, the story of the day is the weather. After fighting sweltering heat at these broadcasts all summer long, it's a cool one here. They're going to need sweaters. But the pits are full, and the drivers have come from far and wide to race today. We've got a team here from 8 hours away from Quebec. We'll be watching them do battle with all the local guys here. This race only came together about 10 days ago in an effort to get these sprint cars a couple more races, and owner Don Speece has stepped up and put them on the track, and we're proud to be here to present it to you live on G-Force this evening.
When we come back, the dirt will fly. It's Operation Green Flag, Mission Merrittville Speedway on G-Force TV.
There are a lot of things in this world that are fake. Your food shouldn't be one of them. Pinty's Man Cave Chicken Wings. Authentic food for real people. Crave the cave, friends. Pinty's Man Cave.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on G-Force TV.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick Wick perfected fire. Quick Wick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without kindling or paper. Quick Wick, the world's best fire starter.
A guy like this, who relies on his truck for work, knows that his truck will take care of him if he takes care of his truck. And WeatherTech has always been the ultimate protection. From floor liners to no-drill mud flaps to tech liner for your truck bed to bump step to the handy under-seat storage system. And Cup Phone keeps phones secure in any cup holder. Order your ultimate protection today at weathertech.ca.
Welcome to Operation Green Flag, Mission Merrittville Speedway here on a beautiful Friday night, and we're going to see some sprint cars and some stock cars here tonight. My name's Greg Kellner up in the tower. Joining me tonight, Clayton Johns. Adam Ross is off on assignment. We have Clinton Jeffrey down in the infield. Clayton, great to have you in the tower here tonight, and for you and I, we get to go back to something you and I are familiar with, some sprint cars. We've got two divisions here tonight.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Greg. Good to be back. My first event here in 2020, so glad to be back here this evening. And as you mentioned, two sprint car divisions on tap. The 360 sprint cars, which you're seeing on your screen right now, are just finishing up their warm-up sessions here. So far, Corey Turner, the quickest of the drivers to take time out of 13:193, and we have the Action Sprint Tour crate sprint cars on tap for the evening as well, along with some stock cars as well. We've got the Hoosier stocks, and they're always a lot of fun, a very entertaining brand of racing, usually lots of 2 and 3 wide racing with them.
Seems really weird being here at Merrittville Speedway and seeing sprint cars on this night, because traditionally this is the night before the Nationals up at Ohsweken Speedway on a Friday night, and of course with the current situation going on in the world today, obviously Ohsweken Speedway closed for the year, but grateful that Don Spees and family have opened up the gates and allowed us to see some great sprint car racing action, and it's all being brought to you no surprise, by Burger Barn, Nitro 54, who are always big supporters of the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals, along with Ohsweken Speedway Race Source and Corpac Merchandising. So a true Friday night of sprint car racing here tonight. Might not be the Nationals, but I think it's going to be pretty exciting nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's great to have had that group of people put these events on and help support the sprint car racing. And really, those are the names that have been synonymous with sprint car racing in Ontario for the last 5, 10, 25 years as far as Corpac Merchandising goes in this sport. So I know the drivers are really appreciative of the opportunity to get some races in here in 2020, because the race teams were hard at work preparing their cars over the winter before everything kind of came down the pipeline for them there at the beginning of March, just kind of as racing season was starting to ramp up and everybody was starting to get excited for it.
So far in 2020, we've seen a few different sprint car races take place. Cornwall's had some events this year, and of course there have been some here at Merrittville and at Humberstone as well. The winner last week here at Merrittville, in fact, was a first-time ever winner in the 360 sprints in Aaron Turkey. Pretty exciting win for him, especially when you're beating the likes of Jordan Poirier and Glenn Stiers and the Sword.
Yeah, obviously cool to see Aaron Turkey kind of come full circle. Started his career in the crate sprint car division, and to finally get that win in the 360 is certainly a cool thing for him in that number 68 machine. So we'll keep an eye on him tonight to see if he can maybe make it 2 in a row here this evening back at Merrittville.
So again, tonight we've got the 360 Sprint Cars, the Action Sprint Tour, and Hoosier Stocks all on the racing card. Stay tuned all weekend long. Of course, we're live tonight from Merrittville Speedway for this event. Tomorrow night we'll be down at Brighton Speedway, and we're kind of jamming 2 traditional weekends in together. It's Applefest Light Night down at Brighton Speedway. 1 night of racing instead of 2 of their traditional Applefest events. And down there they'll have the Dirt Car Sportsman in action, along with the Late Model Division, Canadian and UMP Modifieds, Thunder Stocks, Mini Stocks Comp 4s, and Vintage Race Cars also on the card tomorrow night. That will be 6 o'clock live right here on G-Force TV, our main channel. It won't be a light version. It will be the full G-Force TV broadcast with all the camera angles just like we have here tonight. So it looks like the first qualifying heat of the night for the Action Sprint Tour is heading out onto the speedway, getting pushed out of the pit area. Clayton Johns with the starting line.
Here is how they will line up for that first heat race, starting on the pole. Aboard car number BS39 out of Waynfleet, Ontario, the Sundance Pressure Washing Castle Plumbing sponsored machine of Brett Stratford. Outside of him, out of Ohsweken, Ontario, the Canada Fuels Hills Racing Ackland Insurance number 9C, that is Brian Nanakoke. And inside row number 2 out of Brantford, the JDL Distributing National Building Group, number 49L of Lucas Smith. Outside row number 2 to Stouffville, Ontario, the Transport Sales and Service R52 of Ryan Hunsinger. And going off inside of the third row in the 29W at Woodstock, Ontario, that is Tyler Ward. 6th is the 56 of Derek Lemire. He drives out of Hamilton, Ontario. 7th on the grid at a Font Hill in the Glow and Go Tanning sponsored 08, that is Stephen Beckett. And shotgun on the field at a Port Perry, Ontario, the Brass Ink White Feather Farms number 77 of Daryl Peltier. Drivers just trying to get sorted out and into their correct starting positions here before we get set to take the green flag.
3
First one of the evening.
Yeah, 3 in total here tonight for the Action Sprint Tour. This division's actually had almost a full season of racing, especially if you consider, and they weren't actually Action Sprint Tour events, but Brockville, Ontario Speedway started out the Thousand Island RV Center's crate sprint car division at their track, but a number of the drivers from this region have made the trek down there to Brockville for their inaugural season with crate sprints. So there's been plenty. If you own a crate sprint car, you probably got the most racing in this year.
Have car will travel was
Exactly.
pretty much the situation for these guys this year. As you mentioned, they've been here at Merrittville. They've been down the road at Humberstone and out east at Brockville. And I think that division that's going to be starting on a full-time basis a little bit east at Brockville, that could be a lot of fun to watch, to see some drivers. And we're going to get some pretty cool east versus west matchups in the years to come.
Ready to go, the first green flag of the night as we come down the start-finish line. You see Brett Stratford electing to go further back in the field, so it's Nanacoke and Smith on the front row. Nanacoke jumps out to the early lead.
Smith not going to go away there, tried to come back at him on the inside, but just drifted up to the top lane in corner number 2. Nanacoke will run away by about 3 car lengths into corner number 3, brings it off at turn number 4. Brian Nanacoke leads lap number 1.
Lucas Smith back there in the second spot. Derek Lemaire hard charging there in the third position, along with Ryan Hunsinger, who feels the heat from Stephen Beckett. 2 side-by-side battles there for the second and for the fourth spot.
Yeah, Derek Lemaire getting by the 49L of Lucas Smith. There was nearly some contact there in the middle of the field as Hunsinger and Stratford nearly got together, and Nanacoke was a little squirrely going into corner number 1 as well.
Well, Nanacoke actually almost completely put it in the moat here on the front stretch. There's a downhill grade on the front stretch here at Merrittville Speedway that it doesn't really show from the camera angles, and Brian Nanacoke got about as far as he could get without losing control.
Yeah, you can drop the right rear over that lane into the moat a little bit, try and grab some traction from that little bit wet dirt, but you can't go much further. And if you end up with the right front sucked down into there, you could be in some big trouble. It's definitely something we see the modifieds do a little bit more here at Merrittville, not so much with the sprint car.
Well, the lead right now is held by Brian Nanacoke, but I think Derek Lemaire is closing the gap just a bit. He's got it under a second now to drive the Burger Barn East 1 Construction. 56 is reeling in the leader.
Lemaire working the outside lane in corner 3 and 4, but was right down on the bottom in corners 1 and 2 last time, and Nanacoke doing the exact opposite line. This time Lemaire enters up top, drives it down to the bottom, and lost a little bit of ground that time. Be the white flag this time for the 9C of Brian Nanacoke.
Good, solid performance here by Brian Nanacoke in the Canada Fuels Nitro 54 variety number 9C. He leads. Lemaire in second, and Lucas Smith remains in third.
Final time down the back straightaway for Brian Nanacoke's number 9C, and just about got in and almost turns it around, but holds on, and Brian Nanacoke will take the checkered flag in heat race number 1. Second to the 56 of Derek Lemaire, Lucas Smith in third, Stephen Beckett fourth, and Brent Stratford rounding out the top 5. Ryan Hunsinger, Tyler Ward, and Daryl Peltier rounding out the field for heat race number 1 for the Action Sprint Tour.
Good to see from Brian Nanacoke. He's one of those drivers where he's put in really solid performances, and then something just out of his doing ends up costing him on some nights. So to see him come out with a heat race win there, I'm sure he's going to be pretty happy in a Canada Fuels number 9C.
Getting set for heat race number 2 to roll trackside now, just being pushed to the 8 of the push trucks here. We'll get set to roll here in just a moment's time.
Adrian Stolley from Kitchener in the 50 LS, starting 4th, Rob Neely.
And starting on the pole of heat race number 2, driving car number 54 this evening out of Caledonia, Ontario, the Club 54 Racing sponsored machine. That is Ryan Dinning. Ryan Dinning aboard car number 54 machine, a Thunderstock veteran, trying his hand with the open wheel machine here this evening. So he is aboard car number 54. Starting to his outside at Ancaster, Ontario, the 7-Star Express Line Shane Renovations number 26X. That is Terry Baker. And inside of row number 2 at Kitchener, Ontario, the Larka Custom Machine and Can-Am Steel Products RCM Racing Equipment number 50 LS. That is Adrian Staley. Outside him, the 4-starter at Milton, Ontario, the Radio Shuttle Neely Auto Service number 74. That is Rob Neely. And inside of row number 3 in the 5th starting spot, the Smithville, Ontario, Schneider Electric, J&E Recovery, J&S Heating and Air Conditioning, number 1A, a driver that is quite familiar with the Merrittville Speedway. That is Paul Kleiger. Paul Kleiger in the 1A. Starting 6th out of Fruilton, Ontario, the GJD Graphics 3M sponsored 12 Double D of Darren Dryden. Darren Dryden goes off 6th in the 12 Double D. And going from the 7th spot, last week's winner out of Inbrook, Ontario, the Chanston Float Service Heinz Masonry Mac Tools number 29 of Liam Martin. And going from the 8th spot out of Mount Hope, Ontario, the Wellstar Custom Fabrication O'Neill's Farm and Lawn Equipment number 2 of Lee Winger. So 8 cars for 8 more laps in heat race number 2 here this evening for the Action Sprint Tour.
Liam Martin double duty here tonight, and he's also back in the 360 sprint car driving for Brian Nanacoke. Or rather, Dan Nanacoke in the 15, the 54 variety. 15, and when we saw him back here in July on G-Force TV, very impressive. So keep an eye on this 29 here in the Action Sprinter.
Had a win last Saturday night in the crate car, and then a podium finish in the 360 car. So we mentioned him off the top of the show. We'll keep an eye on him as the night goes on, starting from the rear of the field here in race number 2. Green flag waves, and we are underway, and troubles for Ryan Ditting at the 54. The field bunches up, and Martin gets sideways in the number 29 machine, right into the rear tail tank, I believe, of the 1A of Paul Klager. Those two drivers are pretty close together, but the 54 of Ditting just did not go off the green flag there, and Martin gets the short end of the stick, gets turned around.
And the front end of that car, see the nose wing pushed down. I don't know if there's further damage. Clinton Jeffrey down there, track side. We'll see if we can get a closer look on the front of the 29. I think that's more than just the nose wing. Clinton?
Hey, Greg. Well, down here at Liam Martin, they've got a problem on the front, as you mentioned. The axle's pushed back here, so this is going to be a big problem for young Liam. What you can see is this is the torsion bar. It should rest up on top here, and it's lubed up so they can slide back and forth, but wing is not a problem. This is something he should be able to fix. Shouldn't be a bad night. Come on over here, Ryan. One other thing I want to show you is this radius rod right here is bent. That's the problem, guys. It's a small fix, but they'll be able to get it back, but he's got no steering right now.
So great up-close look there to see exactly. I mean, we know what's wrong with the car before his crew even knows.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, and it's always neat to see something like that. Here you see Ryan Ditting's car just did not get up to speed off the start, and the rest of the field just getting bunched up there. The 50 of Adrian Staley and the 1A of Paul Klager, and Liam Martin just had nowhere to go off the drop of the green flag. But as a fan at the racetrack and sitting in the race stands, you're often sitting there wondering and guessing, and playing armchair crew chief with your friends around you, wondering or guessing what might be wrong with a race car. But it's really cool. We get to see these up close views with our G-Force TV crew.
Yeah, exactly. And taking a look, Adrian Staley is the car that he climbed up on the back end of. I don't see any major damage there. The rear Nerf bar's got that extra little piece that sticks up. It's bent forward a little bit, but other than that, I think Adrian Staley's okay, and he'll restart from the number 1 spot.
So field re-racked, restacked, and getting set to come back to green. No laps on the board, still 8 laps to go. Adrian Staley, Terry Baker bringing the field back to speed this time, and we are underway. Terry Baker getting a good jump in that outside lane, and Rob Neely, just about rode up the outside the 50 of Adrian Staley. Rob Neely's left front tire caught the right rear of Staley's number 50, but he kept it on the racetrack. Will stay green with Terry Baker leading lap number 1.
Terry Baker out in front. Earlier on this year, we saw that car have a good solid run with Mike Bowman, 358 driver behind the wheel. Now it's Terry Baker setting sail in that 26X and looking racy. Meanwhile, the battle for second, Staley and Dryden heating up.
A couple of drivers formerly on the asphalt with the Can-Am TQ Midgets are on the dirt here this evening and battling it out for the second position. Dryden pulled a little bit closer last time through turns 3 and 4 than he did in corners 1 and 2 as he goes to the top side and then drives down to the bottom. Can't quite get it done that time off of corner number 4. We'll follow Adrian Staley back through corners 1 and 2 one more time.
Baker out in front. There you see the battle between Staley and Dryden, second and third. Neely back there in position number 4. Paul Klager also in this one as well, as we complete 4 laps, 4 to go now for the Action Sprint Tour.
Terry Baker rolling through corners number 3 and 4 with a comfortable 15 car length lead over the 50 of Adrian Staley. That amounts to just about a full straightaway. And now Neely has caught the number 12 of Darren Dryden. They'll battle it out for the third position. It's a 3-car battle for second effectively on the racetrack now as popsicle sticks go up, and we'll have 2 laps to go for Terry Baker's number 26X as he sits quite comfortably out in front of the rest of the field.
Terry Baker, another driver and another team that can get it done and have had good runs, but it seems they get snake bitten at times, and it's good to see him out in front. Terry Baker, very talented driver in the 26X as he leads by a good straightaway now over Adrian Staley.
White flag waved last time by the line. Checkered flag will come out this time for the 26X of Terry Baker. He works it off of corner number 4 to win heat race number 2 for the Action Sprint Tour. Second spot will go to the Adrian Staley, number 50. The 12 Double D of Darren Dryden in second. 74 Rob Neely in fourth, and rounding out the top 5, the 1A of Paul Klager. Lee Winger coming home in the 6th spot, and then scored, I believe, in the 7th spot will be the 77 of Daryl Peltier.
and the number 29 of Liam Martin, pardon me, the 54 of Ryan Dinning, and then the 29 of Liam Martin should be the finishing order in heat race number 2. But your heat race winner out of Ancaster, Ontario, the 26X of Terry Baker.
So the third heat ready to roll out onto the racetrack, and there'll be 3 in total tonight for the Action Sprint Tour. In fact, I believe we have 3 heats for all 3 divisions here tonight.
Good field of cars all around here this evening as we get set for that third and final heat race for the Action Sprint Tour. And starting on the pole in this one out of Port Colborne, Ontario, the Jennifer Hatch Coldwell Banker AZ Expediting 5D of Jacob Dykstra. Outside of him, out of Ancaster, Ontario, the Hallett Home Improvement, the Young Pumps, number 51 of Trevor Young. And the third starter out of Moshweekan, Ontario, the Club 54 variety, number 28 of Jordan Hill. Going off fourth at Brantford, Ontario, the Horvath Auto Parts, Martin's Auto Body Advantage powder coating, number 58. That is Lance Erskine. And starting fifth at Mount Bridges, Ontario, the Ackland Insurance Pride Seeds Vibrant Farms, number 45 of Nick Sheridan. Sixth starter out of Waterloo, Ontario, the Velocity Mechanical ILA Sports Inline Electric 19D is Alan Downey. And seventh starter tonight comes out of Dorchester, Ontario, in car number 48. That is Andrew Marshall. Andrew Marshall drives in car number 48 this evening. And Greg, we got a good mix of drivers in this third and final heat race for the Action Sprint Tour. Some young up-and-coming drivers, rookie drivers, and some veterans as well.
And we've got some good young experience, not rookies, but next to rookies. And Nick Sheridan, the kid comes up in his rookie year and wins the title at Oshweekan 1 year ago. So we've got him young and good at the same time, and that's been the theme. You look at the guy in the pole in this one, Jacob Dykstra. He's been good since he got behind the wheel. And now we move our attention to that guy on the outside of row number 2, young Lance Erskine, who's been so good at the micro sprint track at Oshweekan on Thursday nights. He makes the move up with the Burger Barn race team. That's who he was sponsored with in the micro sprints. Now he moves up. He's into a full-size sprint. So keep an eye on that 58. He'll normally be numbered 48 once we get into a regular season. He's just running some extra top wing equipment there with the 58. But keep an eye on Lance Erskine. I think he's going to be another name we're going to add to this mix.
He and the 48 of Andrew Marshall, former micro sprints drivers, are graduating to the Great Sprint Cars here in 2020 as the green flag waves on heat race number 3. The early lead goes to the 5D of Jacob Dykstra, with the 51 of Trevor Young holding on to the second spot.
Jacob Dykstra has been so smooth, so good. He's carried over everything that his dad was, because his dad was exactly the same way. And as he ran in the 360 sprint car division, and Jacob just continues to carry the torch for the Dykstra family.
Looking good so far in heat race number 3, opening up a half straightaway advantage over the 51 of Trevor Young. Here comes Nick Sheridan, muscling his way up into the third position, and then 3 cars battling it out for the fourth spot, the 28 of Jordan Hill, and now the 19D of Alan Downey sliding past him off of turn number 2.
Just got note Adrian Staley was DQ'd in that last qualifying heat. Not sure of the reasoning. We'll see if we can find out why, but a DQ for Adrian Staley in heat race number 2. But heat race 3 continues on, and now the guy trying to march a little bit closer to the front is that young gun that I talked about, Nick Sheridan, trying to track down Trevor Young.
He's trying to track down Trevor Young, and Alan Downey looks like he's up on the wheel, trying to move his way up into the third position. He has stayed right with the 45 of Sheridan through this one, and now Sheridan making another charge at Young's number 51 here, and he looked to get underneath him in corner number 4. Not quite enough room. Might have made some space, though, as they race into turn number 1.
Here's Sheridan on the bottom, trying to get by Young, but the veteran on the outside holding him off, and that Hallett Home Improvement 51 will go wheel to wheel down into corner number 3. Great shot as Nick Sheridan slings it down low.
And Alan Downey is not going to go away. He's right in the mix, trying to fill the void on the bottom side of the speedway. He almost got 2 for 1 there in corner number 1, staying right with Nick Sheridan in the number 45 machine. And Jacob Dykstra will laugh all the way to the white flag here as he has opened a full straightaway advantage and races off of turn number 2.
Sheridan has second now. Alan Downey right on his rear Nerf bar. Another driver that has really impressed here in 2020 with all the races we have had. Jacob Dykstra will pick up the win. Here comes Nick Sheridan for second.
Sheridan brings it off of corner number 4 for the final time. He will take the runner-up spot. Third goes to the 19D of Alan Downey. Trevor Young settles for 4th, and rounding out the top 5, the 28 of Jordan Hill. Lance Erskine holding down that 6th spot, and the 7th position will go to the number 48 of Andrew Marshall. Great heat racing to start the night here from the Action Sprint Tour. Nice and clean. Got through all 24 laps with just one yellow flag there in heat race number 2.
Last weekend.
Good racing all around, and I think that bodes well for the rest of the evening here, Greg.
And I believe with car counts tonight, I don't know that we will see any B-mains that I'm aware of tonight, so we should see everyone make the starts in tonight's A-mains as we get ready for the stock car division. The Hoosier stocks are here and ready to race tonight at Merrittville Speedway. Tonight, of course, brought to you again by the Burger Barn, Nitro 54 Variety, Washwekan Speedway Race Source, and Core Pack Merchandising. I want to thank them for presenting tonight's big event here at Merrittville as the white flag comes out for the Hoosier stocks. 3 heats in total for them as well, as we mentioned. And we'll take a look at the starting lineups here in just a moment. Going from the pole in heat race number 1 from Caister Center, the DNS Automotive Baron Roofing, number 28B, Donnie Lampman. On his outside from Caledonia, the Platinum Roofing Fierce Fitness Training Freaks 68J, that's Jens Mortensen. Back in the 3rd spot from Caledonia, the Burger Barn, Pesky Penguins, Frozen Treats, Kingpin Farms, number 55, Mikey Bobby, Mike Thorne. And on his outside, out of Caister Center, the Plastics Auto Recyclers, Murphy's Country Produce, 41 of Adam Plazic. Starting in 5th from Merlin, Ontario, it's Steve Shaw in the 96, sponsored by Mike's Delivery and Miller Towing. Going from 6th, Braden King in the 48N. Back in the 7th spot from Hamilton, the MK Securities, Barry Davidson Property Maintenance, 43C, Clinton Nichols, the Hamilton Hot Shoe, and Blake Bomberry Jr. out of Washwekan starts in 8th in car 24, the Nitro 54 Variety Kart Quest machine as we see him spreading out off of corner 4 to complete lap 1.
As we mentioned off the top that we'd be 2 and 3 wide in the Hoosier stock division, the Thunder stock division. We didn't exactly expect it to be on the first lap of the first heat race, though. Donnie Lampman out in front of this one, and then a whole gaggle of cars going to battle it out. Looks like they might go 3 wide. Steve Shaw thought better of it, turned to the bottom side of the speedway and started to fill that hole in the middle with the 55 of Mike Thorne, and they just about got together in corner number 1.
3 wide there for a moment for the 2nd spot. Now Steve Shaw in the 2nd position. He'll get by Mike Thorne, who's trying to hold off Jens Mortensen as they work it off of corner 4. It's all Donnie Lampman, but I think Steve Shaw somehow, once he broke away, has closed the gap.
Something to be found with that number 96 machine. Was a little slow getting going, but got 2 cars in one corner off of turn number 4 a couple laps ago, and now trying to hunt down that 28D of Donnie Lampman as they come to the cross flags, the halfway point. 4 down, 4 to go in heat race number 1 for the Thunder stock.
A little contact there between Jens Mortensen and Blake Bomberry, but no harm, no foul. Now we'll see a battle for the lead. Here comes Steve Shaw to the inside of Donnie Lampman, wheel to wheel down in corner number 3.
That did not take long, just a couple of laps for Steve Shaw to catch Donnie Lampman, and he will lead off of corner number 4 with 3 laps to go in that number 96 machine. He's brought Mike Thorne with him. It's a 3-car battle for the race lead as Lampman trying to look back underneath the 96 of Shaw that time off of turn 2.
3 cars down the backstretch, nose to tail, Donnie Lampman in the middle. Look how that car is just torqued up and rolling on that right rear. And that Monte Carlo, he's surrounded by a couple of Camaros as they go down into corner number 1. Lampman not done with Shaw just yet.
Not at all, as Mike Thorne's going to come with him. He gets by the number 28 of Lampman off of turn number 2, drives it into corner number 3, and might be Mike Thorne that has the best shot to track down the 96 of Shaw with 2 laps to go. Pardon me, last lap, white flag waving here for the 96 of Shaw. His final time off of turn 2 and down the back chute.
Steve Shaw down the backstretch, your leader, sees lap traffic in front, but I think time's going to run out on that, so he will have clear sailing to the checkered flag. Works it off a corner 4. The driver out of Merlin, Ontario, picks up the win over Mike Thorne and Donnie Lampman. Blake Bomberry Jr. 4th, and it's Clint Nichols 5th, 6th Jens Mortensen 7th, Adam Plazic, and 9th will go to the 48N of Braden King. So Steve Shaw picks up the win. If I'm not mistaken, he won Sunday night at Humberstone in the Thunder stock division. So it's been a good week so far for Steve Shaw. Heat race number 2 making its way out onto the racetrack, starting from the pole from Niagara Falls. In the Club 54 SRS Pro Window Sewell Snap-on Niagara Falls, 1J the Fonz, Jason Fontaine. To his outside from Hankersville, the Queenston Chevrolet Jibs Action Sports 49, it's Brewster Baker, Dave Bailey. Back in row number 2, and the inside from Ancaster, the Eccles Auto Service, Wellington Brewery, Junkyard Jord, 19 of Kyle Wirt. And rolling off 4th out of Guelph in the Draper Doors, Stony Creek Transmission, Parson and Associates 79, that's Chris Hale. Going from 5th from Harrow, Ontario, the Sterling Ridge Infrastructure, Erie Sand and Gravel, Shock Pros Motorsports 39, Kevin Demore. And from 6th out of St. Catharines, Murray Excavating, Tomaski Transmissions, and 1 is Rob Murray. Starting in 7th from Jerseyville, the Advantage Electric, Wellington Brewery's 53S, that's Logan Schwedick. And from the 8th spot from Caster Center, the DNS Automotive Baron Roofing, Brian Wismer, car number 28 of Jim Lampman. Race number 2 of 3. 8 laps the distance in this one.
Greg, if this was a normal Friday night show with handicapping, this would probably be the fast car meet. This is a lot of heavy hitters up in front of this one, and it's Jason Fontaine leading lap number 1 with Kyle Wirt making the move up to the Thunderstock division here in 2020, leading Dave Bailey for the 2nd position, and all kinds of battles here as Wirt gets a little bit sideways. Rob Murray to the inside of Christopher Hale as Bailey got into the moat there a little bit as they crossed the stripe.
Good battle from second on back. Now Kyle Wirt trying to close the gap on the Fonz. Jason Fontaine out in front. Kyle Wirt in second. He's right there in the back bumper. And there we see the battle for third as it's Dave Bailey, Rob Murray, now Chris Hale into the mix. And all of a sudden Dave Bailey's right there on the back bumper as Jason Fontaine loses the right rear. And off the wall it goes. And up. Oh, it stayed in the park, I believe. Yes, it did. We kept it in the ballpark. There it is.
Go fetch. It was funny, Fontaine came off the corner, it kind of pushed up right in the middle of corners 3 and 4, moved up a couple of lanes, which is not like him to have such a drastic lane change. And you started to think maybe a tire was going down, and it wasn't going down, it was just coming right off of the right side of that 1J machine. We get our first caution in Thunderstock action here this evening with 3 down in race number 2, 5 laps to go.
Jason Fontaine has a look and realizes there's nothing there.
All right, so taking a look at the lineup
he
here.
will be done for this one, but again, I don't believe we're going to see a
B
B-main here tonight for the Hoosier stocks, so he will
He's
hopefully be able to make repairs and make his way back out there. I don't know
M1.
if Clinton Jeffrey's going to make his way down there to corner number 1 to see how severe the damage is, but nonetheless.
Looking strong early in this heat.
I'm guessing based on the way he coasted to a stop and had full control there, it probably isn't too severe.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's as simple as maybe bolting on a new sneaker, maybe just some lug nuts were forgotten there. Hard to tell though with the cover on the wheel there to see what the issue was. I guess it's hard to tell whether it was just a loose wheel or if there's something more significant going on the right rear.
Man, that's got to be a bad feeling. You're at full song down the front stretch and all of a sudden your rear end drops out. And then the airtime on just right there at the very end, you could see the wheel come up into the corner of the screen. It bounced around for quite a while.
Definitely got some steps in there. They bounced up in corner number 1. So the track crew, safety crew, up there to retrieve that into the aid of Fontaine's number 1J. As you see it in slow motion, just roll to a stop. Hard to tell if there's anything more significant there.
Yeah, looking in there, it looks like everything's gone. It looks like the axles broke because looking into the rear end of the car, I don't see a hub. That's not a good sign. So nonetheless, they will take Jason Fontaine into the pit area in that Club 54 Racing number 1J, and we mistakenly had him as Niagara Falls, but he is from Port Colborne, Ontario. Yeah, Spencer, our producer, saying we almost lost one of our camera operatives who's down there perched. And that's why we're keeping a close eye on that tire bouncing.
It looked like that shot was pretty much at eye level there. You saw the tire bounce up into the camera frame. So
TV's channel.
Fortunately, it stayed in the ballpark, as you mentioned, and it was a little bit better to look at it. Greg, it's still kind of hard to tell there.
Almost fall night. Chilly one at the racetrack, and we're getting ready.
Well, you hope for the best because that would be one of the drivers you would expect to be among the top 5 at the end of the night come feature time.
Lights will go up this time by the.
You can tell he from this replay, you can tell that he knows something's going wrong because he does let off the gas a little bit coming out of turn number 4. Obviously, he felt something when the car pushed up the track there in the middle of the corner and then got up to the outside there down the front straightaway, and there you go. There's that tire flipping up in front of the camera operator again and coming to a stop at the top of turn number 1. As the field's been shown the white flag and we are getting set to go back to green flag racing here off of corner number 4. The lead belongs to the number 19 of Kyle Wirt at the moment. And outside of him, the 49 of Dave Bailey, multi-track, multi-time champion. That Brewster Baker paint scheme on the number 49 machine. We're back to green with 5 laps to go.
Yeah, if you could mention a driver of the decade in this division, I think it would have to be Dave Bailey with all the championships, all the wins. He's had a number of them this season. Once again, he's right in the thick of it on the outside there. But you see Kyle Wirt, who moves up from mini stocks a year ago. He's out in front of that number 19, and he's a driver I think is going to adapt very well to this division. He was so good in the mini stocks.
Yeah, looks like the adapting is going quite well so far as he's able to keep pace with that number 49 machine. Not too many drivers can say they can do that, period, let alone a driver in their rookie season, as Wirt fights the number 49 machine using that outside lane. Bailey trying to lean on him a little bit there to corner number 1. Wirt drifts up to the outside lane, and Bailey's going to squeak by off of turn number 2.
Down the back stretch they go another time, but Wirt right there on that back bumper of the Queenston Chevrolet number 49 of Dave Bailey out in front. And here's Wirt in the second spot. Rob Murray's done a nice job up there into the third position with Chris Hale all over his back bumper, and Logan Schwedek up into the top 5.
Yeah, second through fifth, are pretty much nose to tail, just a car length or a half of one separating them as they raced into corner number 3 that time. White flag coming out for Dave Bailey. Kyle Wirt within a couple car lengths of the race leader, trying to see if he can get it done. Can't do it this time in turn number 2. He'll have one last shot at the far end of the racetrack in turns 3 and 4.
Final time through corner number 3, and they set sail through 4. Checkers coming out. No surprise. Brewster Baker, Dave Bailey's going to pick up the win, but you know what? Kyle Wirt hung with him well. Finishes second. Rob Murray back there in third. Then it's Chris Hale, Logan Schwedek, Jim Lampman, and Kevin DeMore will complete the running order in heat race number 2 of 3 as cars get set to head out onto the racetrack for heat race number 3. And Matt Wilson from Chatham, Ontario, one of our drivers and friends from the West, making the trek here tonight. He'll go from the pole, the right connection. Sherry's Peck grooming number 42 to the outside, and car number 69 now, number change from Thorold in the Beamsville Fish and Chip. Like Lucky Strike Bowling number 69 is Go Fast Teeple. From Port Robinson is where we find the 601C of Jeffrey Lermit. He starts third. From fourth out of St. Catharines, Kevin Knapp in the 1S. And the fifth starting spot from Victoria, the APC Auto Parts Center Affordable Portables 84RK, Ryan Beagle. Starting sixth out of Oshwegan in the Oshwegan Pharmasave 93K, that's Mike Klazinga. And going from seventh in the Club 54 Racing number 25 out of Hamilton, Ken Sargent. 7 cars, 8 laps, final qualifying race of the night for the Hoosier Stock Division, and it's Wilson out in front with Teeple and Lermit side by side down the backstretch.
Into corner number 1, that 42 of Matt Wilson, corner number 3 and 4. He leads the field off, but gets sideways, and everybody kind of comes together there. And Wilson will not be the leader of lap number 1. It'll be the 1S of Kevin Knapp leading the field off of corner number 2 here on lap number 2.
Oh, nice move there by Mike Klazinga. He'll sweep up in front of the 42 of Matt Wilson into the third position. As out in front, we got Kevin Knapp, the leader now in the 1S. And right behind him is Jeffrey Lermit in the 601C. Klazinga behind him, and Go Fast Teeple back and forth.
Everybody running nose to tail nice and close together, but it is the 1S of Kevin Knapp that leads the field off of corner number 4 to the stripe. The 601C of Jeffrey Lermit still trying to hold on to that second spot as Mike Klazinga works to his outside off of corner number 2. And Ryan Beagle in the mix with Teeple there. They battle for the 4 spot into turn number 3.
Good to see Mike Klazinga up there in third. Another guy that gets snake bit, it seems, with just a lot of unfortunate events. And here he is challenging for the second spot in that 93K. Good run for him. But here comes one of the veterans, Ryan Beagle. He'll slip down to the inside in that all black with a little bit of red, number 84RK. Different look for Ryan this year.
Yeah, different look, but a very cool one is that 84 machine trying to wrestle the third position away from Klazinga, who's not going to go away quietly, and he will hold on to that third position through corners 1 and 2. We've got 3 laps to go now, and it's been all Kevin Knapp here in the 1S machine since lap number 2.
Across the line will be 2 laps left to go for Kevin Knapp, and that MK Security is number 1S. As they work down into corner number 1, Klazinga now trying the bottom to hold off Ryan Beagle, with Jeffrey Lermit going up in smoke in front of those 2 drivers. A little plume out of the back of that car as they go into corner number 3, but he's not losing any horsepower.
White flag for Kevin Knapp's number 1S. Larmont holding on to that second spot despite that puff of smoke we've seen out of the 601 machine. And now Beagle trying to nose the 84 Arcade to the inside here. Take the second spot away in the final 2 corners. Can he get it done off of turn number 4? Won't be enough. Kevin Knapp wins heat race number 3. Jeffrey Larmont takes the second spot. Ryan Beagle comes home in the 3rd position. Mike Klazinga 4th. And Go Fast People in the 5th spot in car number 69. Then it's Matt Wilson and Ken Sargent rounding out the field for heat race number 3 for the Thunderstocks. And now we get set for the fastest cars of the evening, the 360 sprint cars.
Yeah, 3 divisions in total tonight. Qualifying is down and done for 2 of them. Now it's time for the 360 sprint cars, all brought to you tonight by Nitro 54 Variety, Burger Barn, Ohsweken Speedway Racehorse, and Corpac Merchandising. I want to thank all of them for their great support of this entire race card here tonight. We couldn't do it without the support from those sponsors, and of course Don Spees and his fantastic staff and family here at Merrittville Speedway. Going from the pole in heat race number 1 from Tilsonburg in the Petro Plus stop, travel stop, Burger Barn, Mobile 1, car number 13, that's Corey Turner. To his outside from Binbrook in the Nitro 54 Variety, Ackland Insurance, Hills Racing 15, it's Liam Martin. Going from position number 3 from Welland in the Ohsweken Speedway, Glenn Stiers Racing Enrium, number 14H, the Red Rocket, Jim Hoopinen. And to his outside from Font Hill in the Gulfy Concrete and Drain Fleet Contracting, TriStar Forming 80, the real deal, Chris Steele. Starting from 5th out of Ohsweken, the Ohsweken Speedway, Glenn Stiers Racing Enrium 68 of Aaron Turkey. And to his outside, another teammate from Dorchester, Ontario in the Ohsweken Speedway, Malcolm Mills Millwrighting, O'Neill's Farm Equipment 1 of Holly Porter. Starting in 7th from Brantford in the Strode's Barbecue, Brown Auto, Hills Tire and Gas, Little Bend 110, it's Jake Brown. And going from 8th out of Picton, Ontario in the Jones Automotive CarQuest 11J, it's Chris Jones. So 8 cars, 8 laps here in qualifying heat race number 1 for the 360 sprint cars. What a beautiful night here at Merrittville Speedway. The temperature's definitely dropping. The action about to heat up some more with some 360 sprint cars. This, as we mentioned off the top of the show, traditionally would be the Burger Barn night before the Nationals for Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. It's not quite the same because Laura hasn't brought us any Burger Barn here to the tower tonight. And
that was always such a good part of it.
I knew things were starting to get back to normal in life when I had a chance to get out to the Burger Barn and picked up some food out there, and it was tremendous as always, and Jay Hill and the staff do an awesome job out there. And now that you're there, they've got a much bigger building now. You have to order outside the day I was there, at least you did, but now they have the Petro Plus travel stop there as well where you can fuel up while you're there. And just announced this week the Pesky Penguins Frozen Treat. If you like shaved ice treats, Pesky Penguin is now part of that Burger Barn family of brands, and so check that out as well. So
I might have to go there just for the name.
I mean, you could spend a day there. I know at least I could.
Well, yeah, Burger Barn does serve breakfast, so you could start in the morning.
Absolutely. You really don't need gas because where would you need to go? You just stay there. But I want to thank Burger Barn, and of course we mentioned Nitro 54 Variety, Dan Anakoke and the folks there for bringing us this, and of course Ohsweken Speedway Racehorse now doing race parts for race teams, and that's a new venture out of the Ohsweken Speedway family of companies. And of course John Brush, Corpac Merchandising, you said off the top of the show he's been a mainstay in sprint car racing here in Ontario for over 10 years now. I think it's going into 13 years now that he's been involved. So I want to thank them again as we get ready for the first qualifying heat. Corey Turner, Liam Martin, the juice cranks up, and we are underway with the first qualifying heat.
Into corner number 1, Corey Turner on the bottom, Liam Martin up top. Turner will lead off of corner number 2, but here comes Martin back to the inside of the number 13 machine. Races off of corner number 4. Liam Martin leads lap number 1.
First year in a sprint car with a 360 motor, no problem. He's up there racing with one of the best, Corey Turner on the bottom. Martin on the outside. They go wheel to wheel in 3. Turner gets the advantage. Here comes Liam Martin back to the inside.
Wow, great move by Liam Martin. Corey Turner slid up in front of him to take the top lane away, and Martin turned it right back underneath him off of corner number 4. Now pulls away by about 5 car lengths They race into corner number 3 and 4, and you can see the brakes glowing red hot on the Liam Martin number 15 already.
Yeah, he's got them cherry red down in the corners. Now Corey Turner really washed up the track in corner number 1. He lost some ground there. There's the battle we see with Holly Porter and Jake Brown. That's back there for the 5th position.
Good battles all the way around the speedway as Chris Steele keeping with the number 14 of Jim Hoopinen here at the halfway point. 4 down, 4 to go. Jake Brown coming after Holly Porter for that 5th position there. Showed the nose underneath her in corner number 2. Can't quite get it done. Trying here into corner number 3 and off of turn number 4. Holly Porter holding that 5th spot at the line with 3 laps to go.
Well, last time problems for Chris Steele up in corner number 3. He loses power in the 80 machine, and that will put us under the caution.
Yellow flag that Liam Martin did not want to see, but Corey Turner will be quite glad they'll have the opportunity to restart on the tail tank of that number 15 machine. And we'll see perhaps what Jake Brown can do with Jim Hoopinen's number 14 on this restart. And hopefully this is not a significant issue for the real deal Chris Steele in that number 80 machine. And talked about drivers that have been kind of snake bit. Chris Steele over the last couple of years, just no real luck. And wow, narrowly avoided some incidents there as we see that on the replay off of corner number 2. Steele losing power right at the end of the straightaway, it looked like.
But if we can see that one more time, you'll see how little time Jim Hoopinen had to react, because you're in a rhythm and you're thinking, okay, Chris Steele's in front of me. He just got by me the lap before. And watch Jim Hoopinen come in here and how fast he has to react. The closing rate when Chris Steele loses power, he's in mid-slide. Just missed the right rear wheel.
Wow.
Nice save there by Jim Hoopinen.
Yeah, that could have been the end of the front end of the car for the 14 of Hoopinen, and we'll set things down to Clint.
Got Clint.
Chris Steele in the 80 brings it to the pits.
We'll get back to Clint here in just a moment.
1 to go at the line.
This one asking, Metal Mike asking, is this more of a flat track or is the camera deceiving me? It's fairly flat. There's banking here. It is deceiving. It looks flatter than it is on camera. But it's definitely not what we expect on a Friday night at Oshwegan Speedway either with the high banks.
No, definitely flatter than Oshwegan Speedway. I would argue that turns 3 and 4 here have a little bit more banking than 1 and 2. And the track is a little more D-shaped than the camera may lead you to believe as well. That back straightaway really doesn't flatten out a whole lot at any point.
And it's not straight. It's got a crook in the back of it.
Yeah.
Unlike Brighton that has a creek in the back of it, this has a crook in the back of it. It's a D-shaped track. Straight down the front stretch, but they definitely have the bend on the back straightaway, or the back stretch, I guess you would call it.
Good restart there for the 15 of Liam Martin as he jumps ahead of Corey Turner's number 13. He comes to 2 laps to go, this time by the stripe. Turner's not going to go away, though, as he drives it to the bottom side of the speedway, slides up to the top, the exit of corner number 2. Martin drives away as they reach into corner number 3 and 4. White flag away this time for Liam Martin's number 15.
One more time around for the youngster to Binbrook, Ontario. He leads away in the Nitro 54 variety. Number 15 trying to pull away from Corey Turner. Some young kids, when they step into a race car, have it. This kid's got it. He did in the crates. Now he picks up a win in the 360 sprints.
He does so by pulling that right front tire off the ground. Had the gas down all the way to the finish line as Corey Turner takes the 2nd spot. Jim Hoopinen in 3rd. Holly Porter 4th. I believe Aaron Turkey got the 5th spot. Nope. Jake Brown got by him there on the final lap. Take the 5th spot, and then Aaron Turkey will be scored in 6th, and Chris Jones in the 7th spot. Greg, I think what impresses me the most about this field of cars that we have here tonight for the 360 sprint cars is 22 cars in attendance tonight, or 23 cars, excuse me, in attendance tonight, and no real, slouches in this field anymore.
No.
Like the way the field of 360 sprint cars in Ontario has evolved over the last 5, 6, 7 years. It's really to a point where everybody is competitive.
Yeah, the differential from the top to the bottom is very narrow, and that's what makes it so tricky right now. And we're about to see a second qualifying heat starting from the pole in this one. From Dunnville in the Kingpin Farms, Burger Barn, Aiken Motors, Ace 1 Construction, number 91, it's Ryan Turner. To his outside from Carlisle in the Nitro 54 variety, Creative Edge Signs and Graphics, MMBO Direct Marketing, number 9, it's Steve Lyons. And rolling off third from Brampton in the Lifto Limited Toyota Industry Equipment, East Pendeca Battery, number 77MM, it's Dave McKnight. Going from fourth out of Charing Cross, the Southern Ontario Motor Speedway ERW Contracting, number 9B of Scott Burke. And rolling off in fifth from Vineland in the Parts Source, Julie Swayze Remax J&E Towing 88H, it's Josh Hansen. Starting in position number 6 out of Gore's Landing in the DSE Skyway Lawn Equipment car number 2, that's Brandon Morrell. And from the 7th spot out of Brantford in the CarQuest Auto Parts, Brown Auto Service, Stroh's Barbecue, number 10 of Downtown, Mitch Brown. 7 cars, 8 laps in heat race number 2.
Talked a little bit about the young drivers in the crate sprint car division that had moved up from the micro sprints, and on track now we've got a driver that has kind of progressed his way all the way up now into the 360 sprint car division. That number 88H of Josh Hansen won pretty much everything there was to win last year on the Action Sprint Tour and in a crate sprint car, and makes his move up into the 360 sprint car division on a true full-time basis here in 2020. He was in the car last year in 2019, and it should be really fun to see what that driver can do. Him and Liam Martin kind of moved into sprint cars around the same time, and it's been really fun to watch both of those drivers grow and improve together.
You won't find anyone cool and calmer than Josh Hansen.
No.
Very, very, I mean, we call Johnny Miller in the crate sprints the Iceman, but I think Josh could have had the exact same moniker there because he's just so cool and calm, and he's been good since night number 1. And we'll see him start here in 5th spot in this heat race number 2. Ryan Turner, Steve Lyons brings us to the green.
Hammer down into corner number 1. Ryan Turner aboard that number 91 machine leads the field off of corner number 2. Steve Lyons in tow. Dave McKnight in 3rd and Mitch Brown 4th. Scott Burke holds on to the 5th spot. He gets into the back bumper of Mitch Brown's number 10. That's going to cost Brown some time and a position as Hansen goes around on the outside for the 4th spot.
Here comes Brown down to the inside of Hansen. He'll blow by him and McKnight into the 3rd position and now try to track down the top 2. It's Ryan Turner out in front over Steve Lyons, and now Mitch Brown 3rd.
Comfortable lead for Ryan Turner's number 91 so far, but the battle for the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th positions is starting to heat up a little bit as Mitch Brown tries to track down the number 9 of Steve Lyons in corner number 3. Gained a little bit of ground that time. Looks like he might have given it back, though, off of corner number 4. Lyons right through the middle of the racetrack. Brown right down in the bottom that time through corners 1 and 2. And now Mitch Brown has a run on Steve Lyons into turn number 3.
And Brown will take the spot. Steve Lyons tucks in behind in that 2nd position, but Lyons now back on the outside going into corner number 1.
Mitch Brown in his favorite line right down against the guardrail there in that number 10 machine. Ryan Turner a comfortable full straightaway advantage here in that number 91 machine. He races into corner number 1 just as Mitch Brown brings it off of corner number 4 in that 2nd position. It's Lyons in 3rd, McKnight in 4th, and Josh Hansen trying to run him down in that 88H machine.
Mitch gets the name Downtown Mitch Brown because that's where he likes to run, and I think he runs the bottom better than anyone else. Not to say he can't run the top, because he definitely can, but he's so good on the bottom, and I think if he had a second nickname, it would be called Digger, because he is so good in smoothing and make up ground down on that inside line.
Looking good right now in the 2nd position is the number 10 of Mitch Brown, but it's all Ryan Turner in this one. He goes through corners 3 and 4 for the final time. Ryan Turner wins heat race number 2 for the 360 sprint cars.
Across the line, 2nd will be Mitch Brown in that number 10 machine. Then it's the 9 of Steve Lyons crossing the line in 3rd. Josh Hansen up to 4th. 5th, Dave McKnight. 6th will be Brandon Morrell, and 7th will be, who did we lose there? Scott Burke. Yeah, Scott Burke had some nose wing damage right there at the very start, and I believe that might have been part of the Mitch Brown incident there earlier on in the race. So Scott Burke dropped out 2 laps into that.
Cool to see Brandon Merle out there in that number 2 machine, former crate sprint car driver, getting his feet wet here in the 360s. Kind of stepped away from full-time racing here in 2020. That was planned before everything changed, because he's he's got a pretty busy and thriving business, but good to see him back behind the wheel and getting his feet wet here in the 360s here tonight as we get set for heat race number 3.
Starting from the pole in this one from Ohsweken, the Ohsweken Speedway Race Source, Enrium Dynamics, Ohsweken Speedway 0, the Ohsweken Flyer, Glenn Stiers. Going from second from St. Catharines in the Galetta Flooring 22 Junior, it's Alan Galetta. And starting from third from St. Matthew de Beloeil, Quebec in the AR Aluminum Foundations for Saison 28P, it's Jordan Poirier. And going from fourth out of Caister Center, the Charlie B. Honey Mudcat Entertainment DSE Performance 11 of Jamie Turner. Starting in the fifth position from Port Colborne in the Galetta Flooring number 22, that's Sean Slider. Starting in sixth from Scotland in the Country RV Repair number 87X, Sean Evans. And starting in the seventh and final spot from Grimsby in the Bowens Automotive Image Factor number 90, Travis Cunningham. 7 cars, 8 laps, final qualifying heat for the 360s, final qualifying heat of the night.
Drivers getting some heat in the motors here and getting themselves sorted out into position for the start of heat race number 3. Should be a good one here with Glenn Stiers starting on the pole and Alan Galetta to his outside, and keep an eye on that number 28 of Jordan Poirier, who's been making the long haul from Quebec down to Ontario multiple times this season and has patted the wallet quite well. Had a win last Sunday night at Humberstone Speedway, so keep an eye on that black and yellow number 28 machine among others.
Beautiful sky here tonight at Merrittville Speedway. We saw just a sliver of the moon there, and couldn't be any better. It's a little chilly here tonight, but excellent weather and the cooler air. These motors like to suck it in.
Should make for a fast racetrack. It was a little windy this afternoon, but didn't dry out the racetrack too much. And talking to a few of the drivers, just the moisture kind of continues to come up through the ground now. It's just a little bit wetter throughout as we get into the fall, and that makes for some fast race cars here tonight. So we'll look for a fast racetrack right through feature time tonight versus kind of the typical Merrittville slick that we often get.
Glenn Stiers will set the pace from the front row with Alan Galetta Jr. on his outside. Jordan Poirier right behind them as they head down into corner number 1. Here comes Poirier digging on the bottom. He'll go by Glenn Stiers.
That did not take long for the 28 of Jordan Poirier to go from third to first. Stiers trying to come back at him on the bottom side and trying to slide up in front of him in corner number 4. Didn't have enough to get the job done. He'll settle into the second spot as Jamie Turner holds on to third, and problems for Sean Evans there as he got up off the track in corners 1 and 2. He goes from third all the way to the back.
Poirier across the line will lead lap number 2, and he's already pulled away from Glenn Stiers. That 28P has been hooked up this year. He's got multiple wins and has done a nice job here in 2020 in the limited races that they've been able to race in.
Off of turn number 4, Jordan Poirier puts lap number 3 in the books. Glenn Stiers and Jamie Turner sit second and third right now. And running in the 4th spot, the number 90 of Travis Cunningham. Then it's the 71 of Sean Slater rounding out the top 5 as they come to halfway. 4 down, 4 to go for the Poirier 28 machine.
Wow, is he hooked up tonight? 4 laps, and he's pulled almost a complete straightaway away from Glenn Stiers, who you know can get it done. He's got 50 wins in the sprint cars, and when you can pull away from Glenn, you are hooked up, and Jordan Poirier certainly is tonight. Now the battle is for second. Oh, slide job in front of Glenn Stiers by Jamie Turner. Good battle for the second spot.
Wow, great move by Jamie Turner to wrestle himself up into the second position. 2 laps to go now for Jordan Poirier's machine as Jamie Turner just turned his fastest lap of the race so far in that number 11 machine, but still Jordan Poirier a half a second faster, his fastest lap, than the next fastest lap on the track right now.
Final time by for Jordan Poirier here in this final qualifying heat. Jamie Turner second, Glenn Stiers in third. How about Travis Cunningham with a nice run up to the 4th spot? He started in the back.
A good run for that number 90 machine. Looked like he might have something for Glenn Stiers, but not going to have enough time to get it done as the checkered flag waves. Jordan Poirier wins heat race number 3. Jamie Turner second, and at the line, Travis Cunningham needed one more lap. He'll settle for 4th as Glenn Stiers hangs on to 3rd. Sean Slider hangs on to the 5th position. Sean Evans in 6th, and Al Galetta coming home in 7th to round out the field.
So qualifying is complete here at Merrittville Speedway. Next up, we will get ready for heat race action. I'm sure they'll do a little bit of track prep before that takes place, but it Nonetheless, we'll be back in just a moment. Operation Green Flag Mission Merrittville Speedway here on G-Force TV.
There are a lot of things in this world that are fake. Your food shouldn't be one of them. Pinty's Man Cave Chicken Wings. Authentic food for real people. Crave the cave, friends. Pinty's Man Cave.
I'm Adam Ross, and I sell Hino trucks. If you need a commercial truck, or if you work for a company that needs a commercial truck, email me, aross@mtg.ca. I'm a sales rep for Metro Truck Group, and I sell Hino trucks.
A guy like this, who relies on his truck for work, knows that his truck will take care of him, that he takes care of his truck. And WeatherTech has always been the ultimate protection. From floor liners to no-drill mud flaps, to tech liner for your truck bed, to bump step, to the handy under-seat storage system. And Cup Phone keeps phones secure in any cup holder. Order your ultimate protection today at weathertech.ca.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on G-Force TV.
What makes a trailer a Miska? Is it the heavy-duty Canadian steel they're made from? Or is it the exceptional finish that will last year after year? How about knowing that these are the best back trailers in the industry? These are the reasons you buy Miska. So what makes these trailers a Miska? It's the hard-working Canadians who craft them. We are Miska. We are Canadian tough.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick Wick perfected fire. Quick Wick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without kindling or paper. Quick Wick, the world's best fire starter.
Thought we were working.
Back live, Merrittville Speedway. So either you're seeing this for the first time or the second time, because we're not sure if we just came back. Spencer says sorry. Now we're back from commercial break. So everything that you and I just said was rehearsal, I guess, and I don't remember any of it. But nonetheless, Greg Kellnan up in the tower, along with Clayton Johns here tonight, filling in for Adam Ross, and Clinton Jeffrey down trackside. And as we've already mentioned, but no one heard, Adam Ross away on assignment. They're packaging the NASCAR Pinty Series finale from Jacassa to broadcast on TSN. So Adam away tonight in Toronto doing that. So Clayton Johns, you and I have had plenty of chances to work together, whether it be at Oshwegan Speedway, Brighton Speedway, and always a pleasure to work together. So glad to have you here tonight, and we'll catch up in just a moment. But Clinton Jeffrey has Corey Turner.
Well, thanks, Greg. We're standing by with Corey Turner. Corey, you've had some solid runs here. You know, last Saturday and Sunday, both second-place finishes. You were leading. You're out front running this one, and you and Liam Martin had a heck of a battle. You know, let's talk about that first off qualifying race tonight. Spirited battle by a guy who's just getting started in the 360s.
Yeah, you know what? He had a rough start to his crate career, but he won a race when he was 15 years old, and he did everything on that start I taught him to do. Chop me in the slop, put me in the slop, don't let me get going, and he got some momentum. I tossed a slider at him. He crossed me over textbook, and he made a better corner in the next corner, and I couldn't get back to him. You know, the kid does a hell of a job. He's going to be a tough competitor in this division for a long time, and we're just lucky to have given him the first couple of years of his way. So we're pretty proud of him, and it's always good to have fast guys from Binbrook, that's for sure.
Let's talk about your sponsors getting on board, Corey, before we talk about what you got to do to win this race tonight. You know, Burger Barn, Aiken Motors, Petro Plus, Pesky Penguin, everybody got on board to get the crates and the 360s another race. How amazing is that all the sponsors got together and put out a lot of money just to basically put you guys on the track? Yeah, you know what? Between John Brush at Corpac Merchandising and Dan Anicote at Nitro 54, Glenn at OSR, and my car owner Jay at Petro Plus, Pesky Penguin and Burger Barn. We can't be. We are very, very lucky here in Southern Ontario right now to have guys of that magnitude behind us and making sure the sport stays strong. And guys have come out in droves. We got 21, 22 cars. We got Jordan Poirier drives 8 hours for a 2-race weekend. So it's definitely being supported, which is nice. And I think the racing's been great, and the fans are going to be in for a treat here tonight. Now, we got to watch that on G-Force Light, your battle there with Jordan Poirier and your battle with Aaron Turkey there last Saturday, too. What can you do tonight, Corey, to get yourself one step farther up on that podium? What's that one missing link you got to do to put the hammer in the nail tonight? We just got to make a few better decisions in traffic. My guys, between Nate and Dave and Jeff and Josh and Brady and all the guys at Jay May, and it starts at the top with our owners, Jay and Celeste and their family, and everybody's been working hard. My dad's been really fine-tuning our stuff as well, and I've got an awesome wife, mom, grandparents. It's a whole, total team effort, that's for sure. We just need to make better decisions in traffic, hopefully get a little luck here in the redraw, start in the first 2-3 rows, and just go to work from there. It probably won't happen right away. You just need to, if you run on the podium long enough, it'll get done. Corey, one last question. Track surface here. Got a bit of a cushion here tonight. It's normally flat and smooth like a pool table right up to the top. I know track owner Don was looking at it, but I think they're going to leave it. What are your thoughts on that? Cushion's definitely the way to go in 3 and 4. 1 and 2 is right to the top lip, so it's gonna be really good for some slide jobs on restarts and in lap traffic. Can't say enough. Usually we're used to coming here in June and July, and it's black and hot laps, but they've had a lot of moisture. The days are shorter, the dew's coming back through the ground, and it's gonna be pretty racy here tonight. We appreciate your time. Good luck, Corey. Okay, thanks, Clint. Corey Turner, he's got a big race coming up, guys. He'll head back to the pits.
Thanks very much, Clinton. And again, Clayton Johns in the tower with me tonight. Good to have you here tonight on a fun night as we get set to head to Brighton tomorrow night. But thanks for joining us on short notice.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Greg. Great to be here and joining you here up in the tower to call the races. We always love the opportunity to call sprint car racing with you, and it looks like we're going to have a couple of great features here this evening as you see some drivers out there walking the track, just making some final preparations, some observations, some notes before they put their final adjustments on the race cars before feature time.
Well, when we come back, we'll get a little bit closer to feature time here at Merrittville Speedway. It's Operation Green Flag on G-Force TV.
There are a lot of things in this world that are fake. Your food shouldn't be one of them. Pinty's Man Cave Chicken Wings. Authentic food for real people. Crave the cave, friends. Pinty's Man Cave.
What makes a trailer a Miska? Is it the heavy-duty Canadian steel they're made from? Or is it the exceptional finish that will last year after year? How about knowing that these are the best back trailers in the industry? These are the reasons you buy Miska. So what makes these trailers a Miska? It's the hard-working Canadians who craft them. We are Miska. We are Canadian tough.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick Wick perfected fire. Quick Wick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without kindling or paper. Quick Wick, the world's best fire starter.
There are a lot of things in this world that are fake. Your food shouldn't be one of them. Pinty's Man Cave sausages and street dogs. Authentic food for real people. Crave the cave, friends. Pinty's Man Cave.
A guy like this, who relies on his truck for work, knows that his truck will take care of him, that he takes care of his truck. And WeatherTech has always been the ultimate protection. From floor liners to no-drill mud flaps, to Techliner for your truck bed, to bump step, to the handy under-seat storage system. And Cup Phone keeps phones secure in any cup holder. Order your ultimate protection today at WeatherTech.ca.
What makes a trailer a Miska? Is it the heavy-duty Canadian steel they are made from? Or is it the exceptional finish that will last year after year? How about knowing that these are the best back trailers in the industry? These are the reasons you buy Miska. So what makes these trailers a Miska? It's the hard-working Canadians who craft them. We are Miska. We are Canadian tough.
Welcome back live to Merrittville Speedway, Operation Green Flag on G-Force TV. Greg Kellman along with Clayton Johns and Clinton Jeffrey getting ready for feature time. Of course, we've got the Action Sprint Tour, the Hoosier Stocks, and the 360 Sprint Cars all ready to go with their features here this evening. Laps, we'll take a look at how many laps they'll all be running here tonight. 20 for the Action Sprint Tour, 20 for the Hoosier Stocks, and then 25 tonight for the 360 Sprint Cars tonight. Again, brought to you by Nitro 54 Variety, Burger Barn, along with Ohsweken Speedway Race Source, and Core Pack Merchandising. I want to thank them for joining us and presenting tonight's racing action here at Merrittville Speedway. Also want to say hi to our good friend Tony Spiteri, who's watching. Couldn't be with us, but Tony sent a picture of us. I don't think Spencer has the photo, but thanks for joining us, Tony. And those are some pretty nice socks kicked up in the Lazy Boy that we got to see. But thanks for tuning in here tonight. We want to thank Pinty's, of course. They do a lot to help everything that that we do here in the broadcast. So thank you, Tony, and hope you're enjoying the show here tonight. Usually Tony would be just a couple of booths down here at Merrittville Speedway. Clinton Jeffrey down in the infield.
Well, we're here with Dave McKnight. Dave, you know, you spent many years behind the wheel of a super modified on the pavement. Are you getting comfortable here on the dirt?
I am, Clinton. You know, I'm more comfortable, I think, in the 360 because the horsepower, it's more what I'm used to. The crate was fun, but I'm glad to be in the 360 group. I know I got a lot to learn, but, you know, we're mid-packer right now, and we realize that, but we just got to keep working on it, and I got to keep working on me, right? So
I don't want to bring up age, Dave, but what is a guy your age switching lanes at that age and trying to come over to the dirt after all these years of being a champion on the blacktop?
Well, when we did this, it was kind of, we want to be closer to home. You guys have a great program at Ohsweken, and Glenn and everybody's done a great job out there. So, yeah, it was a transition, but, you know, hey, at 61, I'm at the gym 4 nights a week. I'm doing lots of training. I feel good, and I don't get tired behind the wheel, so it's just time.
You bring up fitness. Let's talk about that. The difference between like the Budweiser Classic at Oswego or a 35-lap sprint car race. You know, how do they compare? Can they at all?
You can't compare. I am amazed how much physical demanding it is to drive a sprint car 30 laps. I can go 200 laps in a super and not even break a sweat. But this car, you better be on top of your game because you're seesawing that wheel and you're working it, and it's exhausting.
Well, we're very happy to have a legend like you switching gears and come over and be with us, Dave. Good luck here tonight.
Thanks, Clinton. I'm happy to be here, and all the fans that are watching, and hats off to, I want to just say thanks to Lifto and DECA and everybody out there sponsoring us. We'll get her done, no worries.
Dave McKnight getting ready to go for the 360 feature here tonight, guys.
Tonight's race broadcast on G-Force TV is brought to you by Aiken Motors. And Northern Performance. Whether it's for the street, strip, road course, or oval, whatever you need, Northern has it. Proudly serving Hamilton and Burlington since 1977. Well, that was a very insightful interview with Dave McKnight, and just interesting to listen to him talk. And I always wondered that. It had to be a hard move for him, probably to go from the super modified to a crate, where the throttle response is not as good as the super modified. I think it's probably better for him to go to the 360, where when you mash the gas, it's hold on.
Yeah, and I think that was something that we had commented on over the last couple of seasons. And, you know, we expected somebody like Dave McKnight, with the accolades that he has and all the trophies that he's earned over the years in super modified racing, we kind of figured, you know, he was going to step into a sprint car and there'd be a slight learning curve, but then he would figure things out. And he just never really looked quite comfortable in that crate car, and basically for the reasons that you just mentioned. And already seeing him for the first time in a 360 car myself here tonight, you can tell that he is definitely a lot more comfortable with that horsepower, as he said. We see the crate sprint car feature being pushed onto the track, Greg, and just getting a early glimpse at the lineup here. There's a lot of good cars that are going to have to come from deep in the field. Adrian Staley was DQ'd out of his qualifying heat. He's going to start dead last in the 23rd starting position here tonight. And race director Doug Leonard telling us that the reason for that disqualification is that the front wing was mounted too far forward here to start the night. So they've hopefully made an adjustment to that number 50 machine, but Adrian Staley will have to come from the back here tonight in the Action Sprint Tour 20-lap feature, getting staged off of corners 3 and 4 right now. And looks like we've got a great racetrack here for feature time. No maintenance done to it. The drivers just got a chance to go take a lap around it, walk around, and then make any fine-tuning and final adjustments here before the green flag drops for the next races of the evening.
And I think Corey Turner really touched on why they didn't need to do the track prep, because they have had a lot of moisture here, and plus, as he mentioned, you know, the dew's coming back up through the ground because of the time of the year it is, so it's going to have plenty of bite. This isn't a hot summer night, so it's going to be interesting here for all three divisions. Don't forget to join us tomorrow night, 6 p.m. We go live on the air from Brighton Speedway for Apple Fest Light, and the divisions in action tomorrow night will be the Dirt Car Sportsman. Also joining them, the late model division, the Canadian Modifieds, the UMP Modifieds, along with the Thunder Stocks, the Mini Stock / Comp 4s, and the Vintage Modifieds are also in action tomorrow, 6 o'clock. We will be live on the air with our full G-Force package with all the camera angles. It's going to be a fun evening of racing. It's not the full Apple Fest weekend, but it's Apple Fest Light, and it's going to be fun nonetheless. So hope you can join us tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, right here on G-Force TV. And if you are on the channel right now, make sure you hit the subscribe button, the big red box right below the video. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification ringer over to the right. And when you click on that, anytime content comes on G-Force TV, you'll get a notification on your device. Well, it looks like we are locked and loaded and ready to go with the first feature of the night. Clayton Johns will give you some time now to roll through the starting lineup for tonight's main event for the Action Sprint Tour.
Yeah, 23 cars set to take the green flag for tonight's 20-lap A feature for the Action Sprint Tour here tonight. And here is how they will line up for their main event. Starting on the pole tonight out of Hamilton, Ontario, driving the Burger Barn Petra Plus Aiken Motors car number 56 is Derek Lemaire. To his outside of the Port Colborne, Ontario, the Jennifer Hatch Coldwell Banker AZ Expediting Weldstar number 5D of Jacob Dykstra. Inside row number 2, third starter out of Milton, Ontario, the Radio Shuttle Neely Auto Service wears Napa Auto Parts number 74 of Rob Neely. Fourth starter comes out of Freelton, Ontario, the DJD Graphics 3M Dryden Racing number 12 Double D of Darren Dryden. Fifth starter tonight, a heat race winner out of Ancaster, Ontario, the 7-Star Express Line Chain Renovations number 26X of Terry Baker. And to his outside of row number 3, at Waterloo, Ontario, the Velocity Mechanical ILA Sports Inline Electric number 19D of Alan Downey. Seventh starter at Mount Bridges, Ontario, the Ackland Insurance Pride Seeds Vibrant Farms number 45 of Nick Sheridan. And the eighth starter this evening out of Ohsweken, Ontario, in the Canada Fuels Hills Racing Ackland Insurance number 9C, it's Brian Nanakoke. Rolling from the 9th position tonight out of Font Hill, Ontario, the Glow and Go Tanning Glenholm Motors Semitic Esso number 08 of Stephen Beckett. And rolling off 10th on the grid at Mount Hope, Ontario, the Weldstar Custom Fabrication O'Neill's Farm and Lawn Equipment Window Works number 2 of Lee Winger. 11th starter comes out of Smithville on trail, the Schneider Electric J&E Recovery J&S Heating and Air Conditioning number 1A of Paul Kleiger. And the 12th starter out of Brantford on trail, the JDL Distributing National Building Group Gales Auto Aftermarket number 49L of Lucas Smith. The 13th starter comes out of Ancaster on trail, the Hallett Home and Improvement Young Pumps number 51 of Trevor Young. And outside of row number 7 in the 14th starting spot, the Wainfleet out of Wainfleet on trail, the Sundance Pressure Washing Castle Plumbing Overhead Door VS 39 of Brett Stratford. 15th starter out of Oshwegan, Ontario, the Club 54 variety sponsored number 28 of Jordan Hill. And outside of the 8th row out of Stouffville, Ontario, the Transport Sales and Service Instapanels Hunsinger Plumbing number R52 of Ryan Hunsinger. 17th starter tonight out of Brantford, Ontario, the Horvath Auto Parts Marlins Auto Body Advantage Powder Coating number 58 of Lance Erskine. And outside of the 9th row in the 18th starting spot out of Dorchester, Ontario, the 48 is Andrew Marshall. 19th starter comes out of Woodstock, Ontario, the Racing for Mental Wellness Canadian Custom Excavation Henderson Powder Coating number 29W of Tyler Ward. And going off from the 20th starting spot tonight at Binbrook, Ontario, the Charleston Float Service Heinz Masonry Mac Tools number 29 of Liam Martin. 21st starter out of Caledonia, Ontario, the Club 54 variety sponsored machine of Ryan Dinning. And 22nd on the grid, the 11th row at Port Perry, Ontario, the Brass Incorporated White Feather Farms Combs Heating and Air Conditioning 77 of Daryl Peltier. And shotgun on the field from the 23rd starting spot, alone in row number 12 at Kitchener, Ontario, the Larka Custom Machining, Can-Am Steel Products, RCM Racing Equipment, number 50 LS of Adrian Staley. Majority of the field is under power now. Just a couple more cars to get pushed off before we get the field into formation here for the 20-lap A feature tonight for the Action Sprint Tour.
Plenty of racing for these crate sprint car drivers here in 2020, competing here at Merrittville, Humberstone, and a number of them, as we mentioned earlier, have made the trek down to Brockville, Ontario Speedway. In fact, they will have an Action Sprint Tour event on October the 3rd, the Saturday portion of the show. They'll actually, I believe, have the crate sprint, the regular division, on the Friday night, and then Saturday they will have the Action Sprint Tour in action for their Dirt Outlaw Apparel Fall Nationals taking place October 2nd and 3rd, Brockville, Ontario Speedway, and want to encourage people to be a part of that can, of course, limited fans in the stands there as well. We had some folks ask about tomorrow night at Brighton Speedway. They did have a limited number of tickets, but it's a sold-out event. So, again, most racetracks only allowing the 100. Some aren't allowing any. Tonight, I believe we have the 100 here tonight in attendance. So tomorrow night at Brighton Speedway, the only way, if you don't have a ticket, the only way you're going to see it is right here on G-Force TV.
Something we did forget to mention a little bit earlier on in the show, Greg, for the Hoosier Stock division tonight, there's a Hoosier Stock bonus for the top 5 drivers that have Hoosier tires on all 4 corners, courtesy of Hoosier Tire Canada. So drivers in the Hoosier Stock division running Hoosier tires on all 4 wheels here tonight that finish in the top 5 will get, I believe it's a $50 bonus courtesy of Hoosier Tire Canada. So something to look forward to. A little extra something to race for in the top 5 here tonight as the Action Sprint Tour field has taken formation behind the base truck. A good looking field of race cars here with a couple of heavy hitters up front. In this one, Derek Lemaire and Jacob Dykstra in row number 1. And I don't see Rob Neely out there as was scheduled to. Oh, there he is. Sorry, he is in his proper starting position. Set to go from the inside of row number 2 with Darren Dryden to his outside.
Yeah, Rob took the majority of the red out of his paint scheme, and it's thrown me off completely this year. But talk about the front row, the diversity there. Derek Lemaire has run so many races in this area, whether it be in the Sportsman or, in this crate sprint car division and others. So much experience there, and Jacob Dykstra on the outside of the front row, the youngster that has so much talent as well, as they get ready here.
Field getting set 4 wide here, saluting the fans that are in attendance and you that are joining us at home. Their salute to you, ladies and gentlemen, for supporting them here tonight. The Action Sprint Tour is 4 wide at Merrittville Speedway here this evening, and they will battle it out for 20 laps here tonight. A fantastic looking field of sprint cars here this evening.
I'll tell you what, I've seen 360 sprint car 4 wides that weren't that good. Good job by all the drivers. This isn't an easy track, I don't think, to do the 4 wide. It's a lot tighter than some. There's plenty of room, but it's not an easy job, and they did a nice job saluting the fans, and hope you're enjoying it home.
Yeah, doing that 4 wide, that guy on the inside lane is thinking twice about that guardrail as they go through the corner. But everybody got through. It was a nice and pretty one as the lights go out on the pace truck, and we are set to come to the green. Next time by the stripe, pace truck exiting to the safety of the infield here on the back straightaway. Derek Lemaire will lead the field to the green flag with Jacob Dykstra to his outside. 23 cars, 20 laps. The Action Sprint Tour is green at Merrittville.
They fire it off down into corner number 1. Derek Lemaire and Jacob Dykstra, the veteran and the youngster, and we've got trouble in 1. 2 cars collide. A couple of cars take evasive action. It's Lucas Smith and Brian Nanicoke. What a shame. A winner in his heat race earlier tonight.
Now you mentioned it earlier, a driver that's been a little bit snake bitten. We'll have to see the replay to see what happened there. That was some calamity kind of in the middle of the pack, and a little bit of damage to the top wing of that number 9 Tia, Brian Nanicoke. The left side wing panel damaged to the back and bottom of it. Looks like it's bent in a little bit, but hopefully that is the extent of the damage. And perhaps a left rear down on the Lucas Smith number 49L.
Have another look at it here as they go down into corner number 1. Brian Nanicoke did a wheelie.
No, I think he got up on the right rear of Nick Sheridan's number 45. That's what got the front end of that car off the ground. Got him sideways, and then Lucas Smith really nowhere to go.
Let's see if we can see that again, because old people like me miss that.
Well, you're just not as fresh as I am at this point.
Oh, that's what it is. No one's a...
Yeah, you can see him got up a little bit on the back bump of the 45 machine.
Nick kind of brought the front end of his car up, and that created a chain reaction there.
I believe that was the number 2 of Lee Winger that just skirted around the outside of that incident, narrowly avoiding it.
So for Brian, it looks as though, other than the top wing being bent in there, just up behind the driver's compartment, I don't see any other damage to that car, but as you noted, Lucas Smith, it looks as though he's got that left rear down.
I believe that will allow him some time in the work area.
Oh man, he just tried. He was so close.
Yeah. It's hard to jerk the car to the right because these cars are not made to go right. So as much as you'd want to just grab the wheel and yank it right there, it's pretty hard for Lucas Smith to do that. I thought he had just enough space to get through there, but Nanicoke's car slid back right into his left rear there.
So we'll watch it one more time. Watch right here, Nick Sheridan in that 45, and Brian Nanicoke gets up on the back end of him, and then right up in front of Lucas, and Lucas tries, and just can't, and just barely hit the left rear, and that ends up being the problem. We'll send it down to Clinton Jeffrey.
Well, guys, 2 problems down here. Nanicoke, he got pushed off, but the problem for Lucas Smith with a flat left rear. Other than that, the car looked all right. They'll go in, get a new left rear on the car. Lucas Smith should be able to return here, and I would assume that's why we're under this 2-minute delay, guys.
And Clayton, you talked about how hard it is to turn these cars to the right. So if you were to take a drinking cup, say a styrofoam coffee cup, and put it on a flat surface and roll it, it would naturally want to turn to the left. And that's how these sprint cars are. That right rear tire is much bigger. It's got much more stagger than on the left side. So it naturally, that car wants to turn itself to the left. So even on the straightaways, these drivers are trying to keep them straight when the car wants to turn left. So in that instance, you've got milliseconds to make the decision and say, oh, I got to turn right. But it's like you're trying to swim upstream to even try and get that car around.
Yeah, and it's not like Lucas Smith had a whole lot of room to get through there. It was pretty much take your chances and try to get through that little bit of space. Or if he does jerk the wheel to the right, well, he's got to pull it pretty hard to the right, and that outside retaining wall was right there. So I think you're going to take a flat left rear tire over potentially some serious damage to the front end geometry of that car.
And we can see how close this is, a game of inches, because earlier on in the night that exact same thing happened to Jim Hoopinen, where he was trying to evade Chris Steele, who stopped all of a sudden in front of him, and by mere inches. He was able to get it over, and Lucas just wasn't here.
Yeah, I think the difference there might have just been that Hupinen was a little bit deeper into the corner, so maybe had a little bit more time to get around that slowed number 80 of Chris Steele in that particular situation, a little bit more room to deal with as well. He wasn't in quite as much traffic, but you're right, it is definitely a game of inches and seconds, definitely the case in sprint car racing. So looks like the field is set to go. They're just waiting on the number 49 L of Lucas Smith, and yeah, there he is, as I mentioned his name being pushed back up. So they've got a new left rear sneaker on the 49L machine. Beats the clock in the work area.
We got Clint trackside or no? Okay. Just want to make sure we get Clinton in when needed, but looks like this time by we'll see the white flag, and we'll go back to the green flag here for the Action Sprint Tour.
So it's still Derek Lemaire and the 5D of Jacob Dykstra on the front row for this restart. The 74 of Rob Neely, the 12 Double D of Darren Dryden in row number 2, and then Terry Baker and Alan Downey making up row number 3. So top 6 remain unchanged. We get set to come back to green here.
Complete restart, and this would be a good chance. How about we go full force? Is that possible, Spencer? Can we go full force on this? Let's hear the sights and the sounds and see these cars come to life. Full force on GeForce TV. Track in the worst way, and unfortunately we can't have you there just yet, but we hope those sights and sounds make you feel at least a little like you're here at the racetrack. And for Jacob Dykstra, he has stuffed it into the huge berm up in 3 and 4. He's just up to the outside of corner number 4 right now, and there's heavy damage to the front end of the 5D. Clayton, that is not a sight we see very often from Jacob Dykstra.
No,
if ever.
Especially when he's out in front of the field. He's usually pretty automatic. It's unusual for us to see that 5D machine pointed in the wrong direction. He's a driver that has kept his car clean pretty well most of the time over the last few seasons since he's gotten into sprint car racing. And now we see him climbing from that number 5D machine with the safety crew right there around him, and him taking the gloves off and shaking his head a little bit. Jacob Dykstra obviously upset with himself here as he pulls the honk device off and some other safety equipment and makes the long walk back to the pit area.
Jay Christie, Father DJ Christie, just messaging saying this sucks. We can't wait to get back to Brockville. Wow, that was a hard impact.
All on his own too.
Wow. That was an abrupt stop for Jacob Dykstra, so it's good to see him walking away from that. As I was just saying, Jay Christie mentioning to me, this sucks, we aren't there. Be back for Brockville. We miss having his son DJ Christie out here. Of course, that bright neon yellow wing. And
can't miss that car.
No.
One more look at it on the replay here, and right in the middle of the corner. I don't know, it's hard to tell if something broke on that car or if he just got up over the cushion or what, but it looked like that car just went hard to the right. We talked about how difficult that is to do unless something's going to break on the front end.
If we can, let's watch it again. Just watch how fast he stops. That was an abrupt end. If we can see that one more time, Spencer, man, he is hauling the mail through 3 and then into the corner and boom. Done. Like, just stop.
The car didn't even hop at all. It stayed right on the ground, too. He absorbed all of that.
Clint is down there. Let's get a word from him.
All right, well, guys, well, you see the damage here on the Dykstra 5D. The front end is definitely all apart as he has wadded it up here into the berm in turn number 4. We're just waiting for the CA towing crew to pull it off the fence here, or the berm I should say, and we'll get a good look at it. But the front end, as you can imagine, is mangled. Young Jacob disgustedly walked back to the pits already and left his car. It's a mess, guys. It's going to take a minute or two to get it cleaned up here.
There's a couple of accidents in racing that you don't like to see. One is obviously the top of the cage being hit in a car. The other is the abrupt stop. Speed and just stopping. That was a very hard lick for him, and we'll see it again.
Yeah,
Bang.
You don't want to see that in any race car, but particularly in an open wheel car and in sprint cars, because that wheelbase is so short. There's not a whole lot there to stop these cars and absorb the impact. But and looks like Jacob might have been spared something a lot worse to that race car. Obviously, the front end was some serious damage to it, but from what it looked like in that replay, it looks like it could have been a lot worse than what we're seeing.
So they did have to pull him away from that berm. If you've never been to Merrittville Speedway, from corner number 3 over to corner number 4, there's a huge embankment there, and then all those billboards sit on top of that. And from this angle, it doesn't look too high, but if you've ever been up there, I've had a chance to get up there, that's a long ways up. And just glad to see Jacob walk away. That's a good sign from such a hard hit. So we'll get things cleaned up here, and we'll be back with more Operation Green Flag Mission Merrittville Speedway on G-Force TV.
There are a lot of things in this world that are fake. Your food shouldn't be one of them. Pinty's Man Cave Chicken Wings. Authentic food for real people. Crave the cave, friends. Pinty's Man Cave.
A guy like this, who relies on his truck for work, knows that his truck will take care of him if he takes care of his truck. And WeatherTech has always been the ultimate protection. From floor liners to no-drill mud flaps to TechLiner for your truck bed to bump step to the handy under-seat storage system. And Cup Phone keeps phones secure in any cup holder. Order your ultimate protection today at weathertech.ca.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick Wick perfected fire. Quick Wick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without kindling or paper. Quick Wick, the world's best fire starter.
Tonight's race broadcast on G-Force TV is brought to you by Aiken Motors and Northern Performance. Whether it's for the street, strip, road course, or oval, whatever you need, Northern has it. Proudly serving Hamilton and Burlington since 1977. Operation Green Flag Mission Merrittville Speedway. White flag is out for the Action Sprint Tour. We're going back. Green flag racing. They've got Jacob Dykstra's car towed into the pit area. He went by the flag stand here. What a mess that car was.
Yeah, definitely not the way Jacob Dykstra envisioned his night ending after starting on the front row of this 20-lap feature. Derek Lemaire set to bring this field back to green flag racing. Single file, the restart, past the restart cone of the front straightaway. We are back underway. The Action Sprint Tour 20-lap main event. 2 laps down, 18 laps to go. It's Derek Lemaire leading the field off of turn number 2.
Lemaire stretches out down the backstretch over Darren Dryden, and back there in the third spot is Rob Neely as they come down to complete lap number 3. The driver for the Burger Barn Ace 1 Construction 56. Derek Lemaire out in front.
Sophomore driver and Darren Dryden holding down that second position, pulling away from the third place battle between Nick Sheridan and Rob Neely. Sheridan sliding up in front of the Neely number 74, that time off of corner number 4. Caution flag, red flag waving. Car upside down in turn number 2, I believe. And it is the number 58 of Lance Erskine.
Yeah. Lance Erskine upside down. And the safety crew will get there. I'll be honest, I was not looking at that end of the speedway when it took place. We'll see if we have a replay or not on that one. But Lance Erskine, the rookie driver in the crate sprint car division, has grown up on the micro sprint track on Thursday nights at Ohsweken Speedway, racing for Burger Barn all during that time, and now here he sits in his rookie season upside down in his crate sprint car.
I hope we have a look at it, Greg, because I wasn't watching either. I was watching Nick Sheridan throw a slide job on Rob Neely for the third position there, and we don't have an angle of that one as it happened kind of behind where the majority of the pack was racing there. The youngster getting upside down, and see the safety crew doing a good job to get him back on all fours and set him down nice and gently. And never want to see a car get up and over, but it doesn't appear to have been too heavy a flip, because the whole right side of the wing is not too heavily damaged, and Clint's got a down track side with a better look at it.
Well, guys, probs down here for Lance Erskine. They've been working on this one to get him out over the past season. They've been practicing a lot, and his relative here, the leader, Derek Lemaire, Uncle Derek, sitting here wondering if the kid's okay because he's back on his wheels. We know he's all right. We'll wait for them to get Lance out. He's been a young standout who's run very well here in the micro sprints, and Jay and Celeste and their team felt that the kid was ready, and they put him together in this car, and he's part of the reason why we're here, guys. They want to get their team, and especially the crates, an extra race. So Lance out here getting some seat time, certainly not what he wanted to. But Ryan, I'm going to pull you over here, which probably isn't the best TV move, but I'm going to jump in here and talk to his uncle, Derek. He's your nephew, right, Derek?
Yeah, he is, yeah.
So let's talk about your race. You're leading here on sponsor night. Obviously not the red flag you wanted, but you must feel pretty good about this 56 car right now.
Yeah, the car feels really good. The track is in excellent condition. I hate to see anybody upside down, but especially my nephew, but I'm glad he's okay.
Let's talk about your experience here, Derek. We watched G-Force Retro Rewind not too long ago, and you were out here in a Pro Stock back in the day. You've been here in a Sportsman, modified Pro Stock, and now a sprint car. Do you feel comfortable here at Merrittville?
Yeah, I really do. I've always enjoyed Merrittville Speedway. I've been here in a lot of different cars, as you said, and yeah, I feel comfortable here. I like it.
Good luck, Derek. We're going to push him off. He'll be the leader as we get set to go here in this Burger Barn 56 car, guys. The 58 is ready to be hooked up. We'll send it back to the tower as we wait to clean up the situation in turn number 2.
All right, thanks, Clint, and good to hear from Derek Lemaire. We talked about that earlier. The Derek Lemaire definitely is the wily veteran. He's ran in a lot of different vehicles all through Southern Ontario, and when you start showing up on the G-Force TV Retro Rewinds, you've been here a while because we've been going back in the archives a bit.
Have you been announcing on any of those Retro Rewinds?
Not yet. That's before me. That's BM before me. So, but when they hit 2004, I think that's when I started being here. Yeah, Spencer just said Clint's been here. Yeah, Clint's older than the dirt in the track, I think. But yeah, it's and Adam too. Yeah, well, Adam's like a cockroach. He's always been. He'll always be. Adam hates it when I throw him one when he's not here because he's not here to defend himself.
He'd be the first one to do it to you. So.
Oh, absolutely. And I see Adam is tuned in on the channel. He's been in the chat, so good to have Adam aboard, and he'll be with us tomorrow night at Brighton Speedway. And I wanted to bring up this, just sending our thoughts with Phil Potts, obviously, who's been through a lot over the last couple of weeks, and we've been thinking about him, and good to see pictures of him today smiling. And obviously he had an issue during a race with what I understood was a brain bleed, and he's had a couple of surgeries, and good to see him smiling, giving the thumbs up on Facebook, and that's great to see because, man, Phil's an awesome guy, so talented, a champion not just on the track but off the track as well. So we're thinking about Phil and his family.
Yeah, absolutely. Phil's a guy that I worked with on a personal level for a couple of years, and just somebody that was always excited to see you and always excited to be at the racetrack. Was always in a good mood, and that's not exaggerating at all. He's just always the first guy to crack a joke, or just always be kind of the uplifting guy around. So it's always one of those guys you wanted to stop and see anytime you're at Brighton Speedway. So we wish him the best. I had to laugh. I got a video sent to me from him on Facebook today, and it was Phil's type of humor. We'll put it that way. And so I had a good laugh. I'm like, okay, he's doing all right. He's still making me laugh. So. I was quite happy to open that up and see that this morning. So, yeah, thoughts are with Phil Potts, and we're glad that his recovery is going pretty well as Cars are getting pushed back off as Lance Erskine's number 58 has been taken to the pit area.
That's a great shot there, getting a chance to see these cars get pushed off.
Greg, I had a mention pop up here, or sorry, a memory pop up that 4 years ago tonight, you, myself, and Tommy Goods were calling the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. So obviously it sucks that event's not taking place this year, but that night, probably the most fun I've ever had in a broadcast booth in an announce tower. The three of us calling was a great race when Parker Price Miller picked up the win. Over Steve Poirier and Jessica Friesen. But the three of us calling that race, obviously the biggest sprint car race in this country every year. Man, that was a lot of fun. So kind of cool to be back in the booth calling sprint car racing 4 years later, even though it's not the Nationals. Still a lot of fun to be here this evening at Merrittville.
Yeah, it's still plenty of great action to come here tonight. It's been a difficult year, but at least we've been able to see some racing. And I've said this through multiple broadcasts. You know what? I leave the track feeling guilty because I've gotten to be at the racetrack and see a lot of races this year. I'm glad that some fans have been able to get in, and I've got some that message back and forth with me and tell me how excited they were to actually be there and see it. And it's not the same. It is. We get to see some great racing action, but it is not the same showing up here, going up in the tower, and this place is empty and silent, and we miss the fans dearly here at the racetrack, and we can't wait to be back with you again. But we hope you're enjoying what we're doing here on G-Force. Of course, we have our G-Force TV premiere events, which is what you're seeing tonight with all the different camera angles. We've been doing the APC series on G-Force TV with the same package, and then we also have our G-Force Light events, which is one camera along with the house announcer being recorded as well, so that you can at least see the action that's going on. And we'll have a couple of those from this weekend as well to show you the Oscar folks with the hot rods, the modifieds, the pro sprints, along with the Can-Am midgets and the Outlaw midgets race tomorrow night at Sunset Speedway, and that will be broadcast on Sunday night at 7 o'clock. And Merrittville Speedway, of course, racing tomorrow night as well. We'll have that for you. And don't forget, we'll be back with our full broadcast next Saturday night at Jukasa Motor Speedway for the APC Series on G-Force TV. Their final two rounds will run twin 75-lap features separated, and they will conclude their 2020 season. And we've been proud to broadcast all of those right here on G-Force TV. So tune in to next Saturday night, September the 26th. We don't yet have the start times for those, but if you're subscribed and have the notifications on YouTube, you'll know when we are live with the final rounds of the APC Series next week at Jukasa Motor Speedway. And then in 2 weeks' time, it's going to be another busy weekend, as we'll be at Flamborough Speedway on Saturday, which is October the 3rd, for Frosttoberfest. 6 divisions in that one. And then also on the following day, we'll have the Eve of Destruction at Brighton Speedway, and we'll bring that for you on G-Force TV. I'm looking forward to that. Not a traditional race night, but Adam and I have a lot of fun, and an Eve of Destruction, if you've never seen it, can lead to a lot of fun. I think we're going to have some fun that night. I'm just interested to see where Clinton's going to fall in the middle of all this.
School bus races, trailer races, tandem races, I think. I don't know. It's a lot of fun.
They jump cars off a huge metal ramp. It's going to be fun. So
destruction happens, that's for sure.
Destruction is the name of the game. That's on Sunday, October the 4th. And just a reminder for next week's start time, follow us on Facebook and Instagram on G-Force TV. We'll have those start times for you for Jukasa Motor Speedway next Saturday. Back to the green flag. 3 laps in, 17 to go for the Action Sprint Tour.
Derek Lemaire mashes the loud pedal in that number 56 machine. Darren Dryden in second, Rob Neely third, Nick Sheridan fourth, but trying to make a move underneath the 74 machine. They're 3 wide for the second position into turn number 3, and Nick Sheridan's going to come away with the spot. Darren Dryden turns it back underneath them. He's got the spot at the line. Sheridan's not going away, though.
Yeah, it's Dryden on the bottom. He's right there tucked in behind Lemaire. He'll wash up the bank in corner number 2. That allows Nick Sheridan to close the gap. 2 young guns, very talented drivers back there in the second and third spot. They're sandwiched in between 2 wily veterans in Derek Lemaire and Rob Neely.
Good to see Darren Dryden having some success here tonight. That number 12 machine, his sophomore season on the dirt, a veteran and a champion in the Can-Am midgets on the asphalt, and drove for Jeff Durnan's number 43 team last year. Has his own car, that number 12 machine here in 2020, running in the second spot now. Nick Sheridan coming back at him for the runner-up position here. And Derek Lemaire looking pretty solid, but just got out of shape there in the middle of corners 3 and 4. Nonetheless, he leads lap number 7.
Fortunately, a couple of laps ago, Ryan Hunsinger pulled off and into the pit area, so something wrong for the gunslinger there. As we approach 12 laps left to go, this time by for Derek Lemaire as he works it up on the back end of Andrew Marshall in the 48.
Things are about to get interesting as Lemaire gets into some slower traffic here. The first car, the 48 of Andrew Marshall, to go 1 lap down, and a couple cars just about out of shape there. Tyler Ward and Trevor Young at the rear of the field both got sideways in corner number 4. They get it straightened back out. We stay green as Lemaire has lapped his first car. Dryden gets by as well, and Nick Sheridan had to get up into the marbles there, and that'll allow Alan Downey to slide by for the 3rd position as we've got ourselves a battle for the lead. Darren Dryden all over the tail tank of the Derek Lemaire number 56.
Coming to the halfway point, your leaders cross the stripe. Derek Lemaire leads. Darren Dryden is there. You can't get much closer. He loses a bit of ground in corner number 2, and now the gap closes between he and Alan Downey back there in that 3rd spot. The top 4 have broken away, and they've got some lap traffic in front as Trevor Young and Tyler Ward collected each other, and Trevor Young has broken something on the 51. That was just about ugly.
That's the second time they nearly got together as Young brings that car to a slow on the bottom side of the back straightaway, and Tyler Ward doing the same on the top side. Yellow flag will fly with 11 laps complete and 9 laps to go. Ooh, that could have been ugly.
That was a flip that didn't happen. And there's Peltier as well in the 77 around down in corners 3 and 4. Let's see. Now watch in front of the leaders. Here they are. Ward up into Young's front end. Now from that angle, it doesn't look as adventurous from right here in the tower.
That was pretty adventurous.
It looked far more scary from where we were sitting. But still, if you're Trevor Young and all of a sudden Ward, so there's the leader center of the screen. Look to the left, and here you'll see Tyler Ward's the first car, and he just turns to the right. Trevor Young's there. Nice job by Trevor Young to get on the brakes and let off, and at least he's got damage to the left front, but that could have been a whole lot worse if he had just kept driving through it.
Yeah, absolutely. He would have ended up in the fence, or Tyler Ward would have. One of the two would not have ended right side up in that particular affair. It looked like Tyler Ward just got a little bit out of shape and didn't realize that Trevor Young was as close as he was as he tried to move up into that outside lane, where Young thought that Ward was going to that middle or bottom lane and was going to have a run up to the top side up against the cushion, and did not come together as planned. And those two drivers getting together, coming to a stop on the back straightaway as Gerald Peltier spelling at the bottom of corner number 3 to bring out the yellow flag here on lap number 11.
Trevor Young and the Hallett Home Improvements, number 51 to the pit area. Hallett Home Improvements. I like it when I see sponsors I've used, and Adam Hallett redid our retaining wall and steps and driveway at our home, and he did a fantastic job. So if you're looking for some home improvements, Adam Hallett Home Improvements. We'll give him a free plug here tonight.
Sure, why not?
I just like it when I find someone that does a good job. They're trustworthy, and if I can help support a racing sponsor, hey, I'm all for it.
The racing community is a big place, but small at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a good group of people to be around and to support each other is always a good time, a good thing anytime you can do it.
And what time better than now to support small business, of course.
Absolutely.
Rough time for sure. As looks like Ryan Hunsinger is going to rejoin the field, but he is going to be multiple laps down. Where are we here?
8 laps down. He was lap
looks like
3
6.
when we took the green flag. No, he did take the green for a couple. So yeah.
Yeah. So 6 laps down is Ryan Hunsinger, but he'll join on. Then he'll gain a couple of spots here if he can complete the race, because he will surpass Tyler Ward and Trevor Young here. Although no, Tyler Ward's remained out there, but he'll definitely get by Trevor Young.
White flag being shown to the field. They'll go back to green next time by. Single file past that cone on the front straightaway. No passing until the drivers get past that cone. So it is 11 laps in the books. 9 remaining in this 20-lap feature for the Action Sprint Tour.
Let's go full force. Let's see it and hear it for the Action Sprint Tour. In the second spot. Clayton, at the start of the night, we were talking before we went on the air, and I said if there was a most improved driver in 2020, I'd give it to Alan Downey, and there he is in second spot, looking very good.
Yeah, 2 sophomore drivers at the front of the field showing that they learned a lot in their rookie season. And Alan Downey is one of those guys that came into this sprint car community and has been eyes and ears wide open, learning everything he can, and he has caught the race leader, Darren Dryden. He tries to get underneath him into corners 1 and 2. The battle for the lead heating up this time off of turn number 2. New leader, Alan Downey, off of corner number 2, down the back straightaway, and it is the 19D leading into turns 3 and 4.
There's going to be some traffic for these drivers, and right now, when you come to a racetrack, one of the storylines you always like to see, a first-time winner. The top 3, in fact, have never won a crate sprint car feature, and now they're just less than 4 laps from one of them doing it.
It will be 3 laps to go this time by for Alan Downey, but as you mentioned, some slower traffic to contend with here before this one's over. The first one to get by, the 48 of Andrew Marshall. Downey dispatches of him off of corner number 2, has his sight set on Tyler Ward, this time off of turn number 4. It'll be 2 laps to go for Alan Downey.
Alan Downey got his start in iRacing, and he went straight into the crate sprint car division, and here he is leading this race with a lap and a half to go.
The 19D machine goes to the top side of corner 3 and 4. He'll see the white flag out the front of the number 19D machine and takes it into corners 1 and 2 for the final time of the bottom side of the racetrack. Darren Dryden up in the top in a car, slowing at the top of corners 1 and 2. Still under power, but the caution flag waves. And oh my, Alan Downey did not want to see that one. I believe that is Tyler Ward, slowed at the top of corner number 2.
A half a lap away.
Wow.
How many times has this happened to drivers where they're that close to their first win and the caution flag flies?
I mean, he was at the strip of lights there entering turn number 3 on the back straightaway. I mean, he was less than half a lap. He had essentially just 2 corners to navigate, but man, I am so impressed with that 19D and how smooth he looked to make that pass on Darren Dryden. And I was quite impressed with the restart that Dryden had as well, to stay as close as he did to Derek Lemaire. Lemaire moved up the racetrack and he capitalized, drive that number 12 machine underneath off of corner number 2, and I did not look back for a couple of laps there. Didn't even give Lemaire a chance to regain the spot he had lost, as Tyler Ward is refired in that number 29 machine, but it's going to come down to a 1-lap shootout. It'll be a single file restart as Alan Downey and Darren Dryden each try to get their first career crate sprint car victories.
Don't count out Derek Lemaire yet either.
Nope. We've seen calamity before where the top 2 drivers think they're racing alone and open the door for the third or fourth place runner.
How about this? We've got 2 sophomore drivers, 1 and 2, looking for their first crate sprint car win. Third place, Derek Lemaire, is the veteran who's looking for his first crate sprint car win. The first guy in line's the youngest of all of them, and he's already got multiple crate sprint car wins. One of these guys might be able to pick up that first win. Alan Downey, boy, he got on the gas quick.
Wasn't going to waste any time. He comes back to the green and white flag together. 1 lap to solve it. Darren Dryden gets into him a little bit. They race side by side down the back straightaway, looking for a first career win. Darren Dryden and Alan Downey off of corner number 4. Downey around the outside. Alan Downey wins at Merrittville.
Wow. He did it the hard way.
He did not give up. Alan Downey, when he lost the lead off of turn number 2, kept his foot to the floor up against the cushion in turns 3 and 4 and stole the win back from Darren Dryden in car number 12. Dryden did everything he could, everything you could possibly ask a driver, restarting in second on a one-lap shootout. But he still comes home in second. Wow, what a finish this was.
Watch the restart. So Alan Downey got a great run, but look how quick Darren Dryden closed. They made a little bit of contact. Dryden gets to the inside, and honestly, I thought maybe it was over. He got that little gap into 3, but Downey held it wide open all the way around the outside and found enough room to pick up the first career win. Wow.
I mean, that takes some fortitude to be in your second year of sprint car racing and hold the foot to the pedal around the outside of the racetrack and put the car in a gap that really wasn't too wide between the number 12 of Dryden and that moat that we talked about earlier in the show. And Alan Downey, a first-time winner with the Action Sprint Tour and in a crate sprint car, and expecting to see a very excited driver climb out of that 19D.
iRacing drivers all around can celebrate this win. As I mentioned, Alan Downey started racing on iRacing and then jumped straight into the crate sprint car division, and now he is a winner. The Action Sprint Tour will send it down to victory lane with Clinton Jeffrey.
It's on you right now.
All right, thanks, guys. We get ready to go down here. How about it? Alan Downey, his first race win in anything. He runs over to talk to the family, give a big hug to his dad, who's working his way back out here. And Darren Dryden working for his first dirt win yet. And Alan over there, emotional win with his dad. Of course, Derek Lemaire down here, his sponsor. Did the night tonight. Come on back, Alan. How about it, fans? Make some noise for Alan Downey.
Sorry about that, Clint.
That's all right, man. Talk about the moment with your dad there.
Oh, man, everything I'm doing this year is for him. He's fighting a courageous battle with cancer, and there's no way I was losing that race. No way.
Let's talk about it, man. You had to come back and work real hard to make sure you didn't give that one up. Darren got into the back in one. He was testing your metal all the way around. Talk about your determination to make that work in turn 4.
I got a little sticker in the front of my car that says, "Do it for Dad." And I gave it a little hit before I went on that last restart. And I knew he was right there because I got tight. And I just sent it in 3 and 4 and hope it stuck.
Alan, let's talk about some of the fans watching at home, and Merrittville fans may not know your story. You come out of iRacing, you were a fan of the stands for many years, you raced on computers, bought a sprint car last year, and you were rewarded with your first feature win. How amazing is that?
It's pretty incredible to think a year ago today was the end of my first season ever in a race car. I'm not a spring chicken, not old, but 35, just stepping into a sprint car. It's been so much fun. I got to think of ILA Sports, DNR Automotive, Inline Electric. Who else am I forgetting here? Velocity Mechanical. I just got to thank my crew, my dad, Nick, Sam, Amy, and the Turners for all their help. I don't know what to say. It's this is a kind of a surreal moment for us.
Congrats. Enjoy it with the family. And when you took the lead, the whole Turner crew went crazy on the backstretch. Congrats. Alan Downey, ladies and gentlemen, his first ever feature win. Well, Darren, not the kind of way you wanted to go. You had a couple of tough weeks, but here you are back on the podium. You almost got your first win on dirt. You're a champion in a lot of other disciplines, but you nearly got it done today. How disappointed are you?
Honestly, I can't be disappointed with the way that things turned out tonight. And you know, we're here to compete, and you know, we proved our spot tonight. So can't thank my dad enough, Steve Gary, as well as everyone else behind. You know, Hoddick for giving us such a stellar car to start the season, get us comfortable, and as well as all the team behind us. So I got to thank all my sponsors: Epic Racewear, DJD Graphics, Expert Transmissions, Napa Auto Parts, Pudsey Pools and Landscapes, Desert Ends Insurance, BJ Custom Finishes, and Ceramic Pro. Definitely. Alan Downey had a phenomenal run there. I knew he was coming, and I had nothing but to make that pass going in. Gave him a little bit of a bumper, gave it clean, got underneath him, and then I knew he was going to run the top because then all I had to do was really pinch the bottom and hope for the best. So maybe could have went a little bit more steam, maybe done a slide job, blocked them off, but got to congratulate him on his first win.
Congrats, Darren. Classy move there. We'll get over here and talk to the Burger Barn crew as they get ready to take your picture. We'll let Kevin get his shot and we'll jump in here. Well, guys, let's talk about this one. Jay, don't go too far away. Derek, how cool is that? I know you would have loved to get one, but on the podium here at a track where you run so well on sponsor night is a cool deal.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, absolutely. Would have loved to have got the win, but I made a few mistakes, and you just can't make a mistake. These guys are that good, and but I'll take it. I'm happy.
There you have it. Derek Lemaire finishes third here tonight, and we will send it up to you guys to get ready to go. Hoosier Stock Racing coming up next.
Couldn't have asked for a better finish in that one, and Alan Downey said it exactly. He was not going to lose it, and you could tell that when he came off of corner 4. He didn't care if he went in the moat. He didn't care if he went in the wall. He just wanted to be the first one across the line, and that's exactly what he did. We'll be back with the Hoosier Stock feature up next here on Operation Green Flag Mission Merrittville Speedway on G-Force TV.
What makes a trailer a Miska? Is it the heavy-duty Canadian steel they are made from? Or is it the exceptional finish that will last year after year? How about knowing that these are the best backed trailers in the industry? These are the reasons you buy Miska. So what makes these trailers a Miska? It's the hard-working Canadians who craft them. We are Miska. We are Canadian tough.
A guy like this, who relies on his truck for work, knows that his truck will take care of him if he takes care of his truck. And WeatherTech has always been the ultimate protection. From floor liners to no-drill mud flaps, to tech liner for your truck bed, to bump step, to the handy under-seat storage system. And Cup Phone keeps phones secure in any cup holder. Order your ultimate protection today at weathertech.ca.
Tonight's race broadcast on G-Force TV is brought to you by Aiken Motors and Northern Performance. Whether it's for the street, strip, road course, or oval, whatever you need, Northern has it. Proudly serving Hamilton and Burlington since 1977. Back at Merrittville Speedway, Operation Green Flag Mission Merrittville Speedway Hoosier Stock feature on the track. Clayton Johns with the starting lineup.
Thanks a lot, Greg. Set to go for 20 laps in the Hoosier Stock feature. They'll line up this way on the pole at Caledonia, Ontario, the Burger Barn, Kingpin Farms, number 55 of Mike Thorne. Outside him at Ancaster, Ontario, the Eccles Auto Service 19 of Kyle Wirt. Third starter comes at Acaster Center, Ontario, the DNS Automotive number 28D of Donnie Lampman. To his outside at a Merlin, Ontario, the Mike's Delivery number 96 of Steve Shaw. And going off fifth at a Guelph, Ontario, the Draper Doors number 79 of Christopher Hale. Sixth starter comes out of Ashwegan, Ontario, the Ashwegan Farm Save 93K of Mike Klazinga. And the seventh starter at a Port Robinson, Ontario, the 601C of Jeffrey Larmit. Eighth starter comes out of Victoria, Ontario, the APC Auto Parts Center 84RK of Ryan Beagle. And rolling off ninth at a Port Robinson, Ontario, the 1S of Kevin Knapp. Going 10th out of Ashwegan, Ontario, the Nitro 54 Variety Car Quest number 24 of Blake Bomberry Jr. And the 11th starter out of St. Catharines, Ontario, the Murray Excavating M1 of Rob Murray. Rolling off 12th at Hagersville, Ontario, the Queenston Chevrolet number 49 of Brewster Baker Dave Bailey. And 13th at Hamilton, Ontario, the MK Securities number 43C of Clinton Nichols. 14th at Jerseyville, Ontario, the Advantage Electric number 53S of Logan Schwedick. And starting 15th at Thorold, Ontario, the Beamsville Fish and Chips number 69 of Go Fast T-Bull. 16th at Caledonia, Ontario, the Platinum Roofing number 68J of Jens Mortensens. And out on the 17th starting spot at Acaster Center, Ontario, the DNS Automotive number 28 of Jim Lampman. 18th at a Chatham Trail, the right connection number 42 of Matt Wilson, and 19th at a Keister Center, the Plaza Auto Recyclers number 41 of Adam Plazik. 20th out of Harrow on Trail, the Sterling Ridge Infrastructure number 39 of Kevin Demore, and 21st out of Hamilton, the Club 54 Racing number 25 of Ken Sargent. The 48N of Braden King goes 22nd and 23rd at a Port Colborne on Trail, the 1J of the Fawns, Jason Fontaine, green flag waving on the Hoosier stock feature, 20 laps to distance, top 5 drivers with Hoosier tires on all 4 corners, eligible for a Hoosier Tire Canada bonus as the first lap rolls down the back straightaway. It is side-by-side racing, 3 wide for the 3rd position at the moment. But it's Kyle Wirt leading lap number 1 in car number 19.
And one hard into the wall. Blake Bomberry Jr. got down in the moat, caught the front stretch wall. We'll see if he can continue on. Looks like no, he's going to come to a stop at the outside of corner number 1, and that car would not turn. So I think we're going to go under the caution. Yes, we are. There you see Blake Bomberry Jr. Beautiful looking car. He always has that 24 Nitro 54 variety. Number 24. Gets it under power and into the pit area.
Likely a flat right front tire, it looked like.
I'm not sure if we'll get a glimpse of this or not, but you'll get an idea of that moat down here between the front stretch wall and the racing groove, and he dropped down in there. Okay, let's watch them come out of corner 4, and he is going to be, he's at the very top of the screen on the outside. Now you see him.
Oh,
look at how far that drop is.
Oh, he rides right up on the barriers. Got out there all on his own. And the lineup must not be quite correct, because normally those types of cautions where a driver pulls to a stop and then immediately fires the car back up is to the dismay of the race director, and they usually try to go hurry up on the lineup and not allow that driver too much extra time. This field getting doubled back up here and getting set to go back to green. Good to see Jason Fontaine back out after losing that right rear tire in his heat race. Started at the rear of the field and has already made up a couple of positions in that number 1J. But the restart, we'll see Kyle Wirt as the point man in that number 19 machine. Outside of him, Mike Thorne in the 55. So the opposite of the way the front row started this feature, but we did get 1 lap in the books before this first caution. 19 laps to go. Pace truck duck into the safety of the infield, set to go green off of corner number 4. It is Kyle Wirt, the race leader in car number 19. Mike Thorne to his outside, and then Donnie Lampman and Steve Shaw on road number 2. Green flag is waving. We're back underway with the Thunderstocks.
Kyle Wirt, Mike Thorne door to door through 1 and 2, and then it's pretty crazy from there on back as we work down the backstretch. Chris Hale gets a run on Donnie Lampman. Now looks to the inside of Mike Thorne. 3 wide through the corner. A little bumping, a little grinding. And off the corner at the line, Mike Thorne is going to lead the lap.
A lot of right front corners making contact with left rear quarter panels that time through corners 3 and 4. Smoother through 1 and 2 this time, as it is Mikey Bobby, Mike Thorne out in front of the field, but Kyle Wirt is not going away. He is all over the back bumper of that number 55 machine, and he's got Christopher Hale to the inside of his number 19 machine. The Guelph driver, Christopher Hale, the number 79 machine, trying to wrestle that second spot away from Kyle Wirt's number 19.
Mike Thorne out in front with the new logo on the hood, Pesky Penguin Frozen Treats. Burger Barn number 55 out in front, and it's Kyle Wirt, Chris Hale, and a bit of a gap back to the rest of the pack where we see Steve Shaw leading that, and a side-by-side battle with Donnie Lampman and the number 49 of Dave Bailey.
All kinds of action between the battle for the 2nd and 3rd position, and then from 4th and 5th and 3 wide there on back. It is the M1 of Rob Murray battling it out with the 28D of Donnie Lampman and the 53 of Logan Schwedick. That battle for the 6th position on the speedway right now. Murray appears to have the advantage at the moment as Kyle Wirt continues to look to the inside of Mikey Bobby, and 3 cars coming together on the outside here. Donnie Lampman, Logan Schwedick, and Rob Murray. That battle resulting in calamity as Jim Lampman gets turned around at the bottom of corner number 1, brings out the caution flag with 6 laps in the books. We just finished commenting on how tight that battle was, and it ends in a couple of cars tangled together here.
They're literally tangled together. They're going to have to be separated, I think, because they look to be hooked right now. And that was one of those collisions where you didn't know how bad that was going to get or if it was just going to straighten out. And for them to be pointed in that direction and Donnie Lampman to continue on, it ended up being a lot better than it could have been.
Definitely. Especially when you have that boat coming into play and cars kind of get up on their side a little bit, off angle. Can create some interesting situations as well. As we
see Clint down there, he's running on the seat. That's why he's always out of breath when he gets down there. He doesn't have his wheels.
He needs to get on Glenn's fitness program. So do I, though. So
here's the replay, and this is a little ways back.
It's the battle for sixth.
Oh, Rob Murray.
Rob Murray got out of shape and came across the nose of Schwedick there.
And I believe it was Donnie Lampman behind them, had nowhere to go.
They were effectively running 3 wide through corners 3 and 4. And Rob Murray had somebody leaning on his right rear quarter panel there.
All right, let's send it down to Clinton Jeffrey.
Well, thanks, guys. It's Logan Schwedick and Rob Murray are hung up together here. And what you're seeing is the right rear corner of the back bumper of Murray is pushed right in the left front fender here of the Schwedick 53. So they're going to have to lift them up and kind of release the pressure a little bit to get them apart and try not to pop this left front tire on the Schwedick 53, guys. So just hang with us for a second. They'll take the pressure off the M1. Then the crew will get behind and try and drag it out. And Ryan, I don't know if you can slip right down this line. And can you see that where that bumper is jammed right in to the left front here of the Schwedick 53, and they're trying to work on getting that bumper out, and you can see it right in there, just jammed in there, guys. We'll send it back up to you as we watch them try and get this puzzle apart.
Yeah, that's the thing. They don't want to cause any more damage than had already been done to these cars. They don't want to pop a tire, and try and separate them the best they can, and man, it's wedged in there.
A puzzle is a great way to describe that situation down there, and see them just trying to rock it back and forth, side to side, rather than forward and backwards, because like Clint said, they're trying to avoid popping that left front tire on the Schwedick 53 machine. You see the replay again there. Murray just got out of shape, came across the nose of Schwedick, and Donnie Lampman doing a good job to back out of the throttle and pull to the inside to avoid any significant damage to his 28D.
The only thing harder than trying to separate these two cars is trying to get a piece of pizza out of Adam Ross's hands.
That's a puzzle that's easy to solve, but you still can't get the job done.
I'm going to pay for this tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah.
Again, join us tomorrow night, 6 o'clock from Brighton Speedway for Applefest Light, Dirt Sportsman, late models, Canadian and UMP Modifieds, Thunder Stocks, Mini Stocks, Conforce, and Vintage. Let's send it back down to Clinton Jeffrey.
Well, guys, the problem down here, they've re-angled the tow truck. Now they're using the winch off the back of the tow truck to pull the Murray car sideways, and there it just popped loose. Now we'll hang for this shot for a second and see what's wrong. They're going to put the hood pins back on the 53 of Schwedick, and then I want to take a look at that right rear quarter on the Murray M1, but I think it's going to be all right, guys. Just some cosmetic damage here and some sheet metal problems, but they'll work it out, and that's it, guys. Murray going to be able to drive away. Going to look like a big shark took a bite out of the rear quarter, but either way, he'll be able to continue. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Glenn. Some great camera angles down there so we can see exactly what's taking place, and a lot of hard work for the safety crews down there. They've got them separated. We've got a bit of break in the action. Some folks asking for the full rundown on the crate sprint car feature that just took place. We didn't have a chance to do that when it wrapped up, so we'll give you a look at the finishing order where Alan Downey picked up his first career win. Darren Dryden was second. Derek Lemaire finished third. Nick Sheridan was fourth. Brett Stratford, what a fantastic run for him, finishing in the fifth spot. Rob Neely crosses the line in sixth. Paul Clagger up to seventh. Good solid run for him, as well as Terry Baker there in eighth. How about Lucas Smith? He cut down the tire at the very beginning. He finishes in ninth. Liam Martin in 10th. 11th through 15th was Stephen Beckett, Jordan Hill, Adrian Staley, and Brian Nanakoke, along with Ryan Dinning. On 16th through 20th, Lee Winger, Darryl Pelche, Tyler Ward, Andrew Marshall, and Trevor Young. 21st was Ryan Hunsinger. 22nd, Lance Erskine, who ended up on his side. And last place, you don't see this very often. He's usually at the other end of the totem pole, and that is Jacob Dykstra, who finishes 23rd after that hard impact down in corners 3 and 4.
I believe hard charger there to Adrian Staley in the number 50 machine. So if not for that DQ in his heat race, you have to wonder if he would have been right at the front of the field. Sorry, so I guess Liam Martin would be the hard charger. He goes from 20th to 10th and finishing ahead of Adrian Staley. Both of those drivers advancing 10 positions. Pretty impressive on both accounts.
Getting some questions. Yes, we will be on at 6 p.m. with a full G-Force TV broadcast from Applefest tomorrow night. So join us tomorrow, 6 o'clock from Brighton Speedway.
Caution lights still on, but about to go out as the field hits the white flag here, set to go back to green flag racing in 1 lap's time. 14 laps remaining in this 20-lap A feature for the Thunder Stocks here tonight at the Merrittville Speedway. It will be another Burger Barn racing car on the point here as we get set to go back to the full song. 55 of Mike Thorne out in front of the field, with Kyle Wirt in second at number 19, Christopher Hale, and oh look, Dave Bailey's in the top 4. Number 49 machine is Steve Shaw rounding out the top 5 at the moment. Back on the go pedal off of corner number 4, and it is Mike Thorne leading the field into corner number 1.
Out in front, Mike Thorne, Chris Hale, 1 and 2 side by side for the third spot. It's Kyle Wirt and Dave Bailey. Good battle at the front amongst the top 4. Ryan Beagle was kind of quiet in his qualifying heat, and now he's right there in the 5th position.
Yeah, Beagle doing a good job. Move up in the feature race here in that number 84 machine, trying to track down the number 19 of Kyle Wirt, who lost a couple spots since that restart, and Dave Bailey has made his way up to the 3rd position. Christopher Hale in second, right on the rear bumper of Mike Thorne's number 55 machine. They race into corners 1 and 2, and they are literally nose to tail now. Hale gets to the inside of Thorne a little bit, but got sideways at the exit of turn number 2, and Thorne will drive away by a car length into turn 3.
Derek Lemire was carrying the Burger Barn banner in race number 1. Of course, Burger Barn, a big part of tonight's racing event. Now Mike Thorne out in front in this one, seeing if he can get the job done, but he's got a bumper full of Chris Hale. Chris Hale now down to the inside on the back stretch. He's got Dave Bailey on his outside.
And Dave Bailey trying to go around the outside of the Hale number 79 into corner number 3. Didn't have enough room to get the job done, though. Now he goes down into the moat, but perhaps on purpose a little bit, as he looked like he kind of gained a little bit of speed there momentarily. Didn't lose a whole lot. Half a car length maybe on Hale's number 79 machine. Top 3 starting to break away a little bit, but Ryan Beagle trying to get up into the mix in that number 84 car.
It's Thorne, Bailey, Hale, Beagle. The top 4 right now. A little gap back to Wirt. And look at that. Ken Sargent. He started last, did he not? Or at least in the very back row.
Yeah, second last row, 21st starting spot. Ken Sargent in that number 25 machine has navigated his way to the front of the field, running in the 6th position now and coming after Kyle Wirt. He looks to get into the top 5 and get his hands on some of that Hoosier Tire Canada bonus money here this evening. Still Mike Thorne out in front, but Dave Bailey has found his way into the 2nd spot and has the bottom lane here into corner number 1. Brewster Baker trying to wrestle away the point position here down the back chute.
Lap traffic coming into the side of the leaders. So Matt Wilson right in front. Now we've got a slow car on the high side of 4. That's the DeMore 39. And the leaders, all kind of get bottled up there as Chris Hale got caught behind the DeMore machine. And now here comes the 55, Mike Thorne. He'll get by Matt Wilson, brings Dave Bailey along.
That lap traffic actually played to the benefit of Mike Thorne's number 55. He had to get all the way to the bottom, and that took away Dave Bailey's preferred lane. Bailey closes the gap again, though. This time down the front straightaway through corners 1 and 2, with Thorne a little bit better at the exit of turn number 2. Pulls away from Bailey's number 49. There'll be 4 laps to go this time by.
Down across the stripe. Mike Thorne. Dave Bailey dumps it in the moat a little bit there that time by. Chris Hale tried to use that to his advantage. He stays there tucked in the third spot. Ken Sargent and Ryan Beagle behind them having a good fight for the fourth position. Sargent on the bottom, Beagle up top as they begin to reel in Chris Hale.
Ken Sargent's not going to be satisfied with just the top 5. He wants more. He goes to the inside of Ryan Beagle's number 84, this time through corners 1 and 2. Has the position by a nose to the exit of the corner. Still the top 3 leading nose to tail, and then Ken Sargent now in the 4th position ahead of Ryan Beagle's number 84 with 2 laps to go.
It's 3 wide for the lead with 2 laps left to go. Dave Bailey slips by into the top spot. Mike Thorne back to second. Hale is there where he's been all night. And the guy that charged from the back of the pack, Ken Sargent, he's not finished just yet.
This one's not going to end quietly as Bailey brings it off of corner number 4 to the white flag. Christopher Hale looking for a little extra grip as he dips the right side wheels into the moat, that time down the front straightaway off of corner number 2 for the final time. Dave Bailey opens up 2 car lengths, his advantage over Mike Thorne in the final 2 corners.
Off of corner 4 they work. Dave Bailey's going to fly to the checkered flag another time and pick up the win. Mike Thorne grabs second. Chris Hale will cross the line in the 3rd spot. Ken Sargent 4th. Kyle Wirt in 5th. Ryan Beagle comes over the 6th place finish. Mike Klazinga 7th. Steve Shaw 8th, 9th, Kevin Knapp 10th, Jason Fontaine. 11th through 15th go fast. Teeple, Rob Murray, Logan Schwedek, Jeff Lerman, and Clinton Nichols. 16th went to Donnie Lampman. 17th, Blake Bomberry. 18th, Jens Mortensen. 19th, Adam Plazik, and 20th, Jim Lampman. 21st, Matt Wilson. And 22nd, Kevin Demore. That's how they finish things out here in the Hoosier Stocks. And again, top 5 that cross the line with 4 Hoosier Stocks, Hoosier tires on their cars will go into a draw for a chance to win a tire from Hoosier Race Tires. So Dave Bailey's going to pick up another win here at Merrittville Speedway.
I didn't want the fence in there.
So disappointing, I'm sure, for Mike Thorne. You know, you hold on for all those laps, and then guess who's back out in front again?
Dave Bailey had to earn it tonight. Came from the 12th starting spot to get by Mike Thorne, Kyle Wirt, and several other characters in that one. Christopher Hale as well. Christopher Hale was not going to go quietly there. He was probably 1 lap away from taking a stab at Dave Bailey. Just about got by Mike Thorne there at the start-finish line. This was a 25-lap feature. We might have seen a one-on-one battle there between Dave Bailey and Christopher Hale, but 20 laps was the distance, and Dave Bailey comes away the winner in the number 49 machine. He crosses the scales and is headed down to victory lane here momentarily.
So he'll send it down to victory lane, and we'll send things down to our very own Clinton Jeffrey.
Well, thanks a lot, guys. We get ready to talk to Brewster Baker. Dave Bailey grabs another one here at Merrittville tonight. We'll wait till he gets the stuff off. We'll get a word with him here. Dave was the winner here last week, too. Got back on the top step where he needed to be. And we'll get ready for him to get out here and talk to us. So Dave Bailey gets his helmet off. How about it, Merrittville? He picks up another win here at his hometown track. How about it? Make some noise for your defending champion multi-time here. Dave Bailey picks up another Merrittville feature win tonight. We'll get Dave around front, have a quick word with him here. So Dave, pretty cool to be back in victory lane here at Merrittville. A good way to start putting the end to your season. You know, a couple of feature wins can make the winter a little less long for you tonight.
Yeah, that was awesome. Some wins mean more than others, and that right there is big. We missed the first one because I hurt myself, so didn't get to do this live for our sponsors, and really appreciate you guys for putting this on.
Let's talk about the sponsor you have. You have a great crew of guys who help you get here week after week and help keep this 49 up front.
Yeah, I got to thank Queenston Chev and Mark at Jibs. Hopefully they're both watching. And you guys need to buy a car, go see Queenston. You need to buy a scooter or bike, go see Mark at Jibs.
Both those businesses doing really well. We're great to have them on board with us too. Let's talk about Dave, the track. It looked amazing tonight in a race that just kind of got put together 10 days ago.
Yeah, I was worried. We walked it, and it looked like there was nothing there, and I don't know if it was just greasy before and the sprint cars fixed it or what, but awesome surface again. These guys are doing a bang-up job given the circumstances.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Dave Bailey picks up another feature win. We'll get over here and talk to Mike Thorne. And we'll get Ryan over here too. We got to get a good shot of the hood here, Ryan. This is Mike's new sponsor. Come on around, Mike, and he'll get that shot for us. That's the Pesky Penguin. If you're down near Burger Barn or Petro Plus, make sure you check it out. Shaved Ice. Michael, come on over here. Let's talk about your night. You know, both you and your teammate Derek did such a good job for the sponsors tonight, trying to hold on and nail down a win for Jay Celeste and all the people who support this Burger Barn Racing and Kingpin Farms teams. Talk about your night. You got to be a little bit happy to be second here tonight, although you did hold the lead for a long time.
Yeah, it was really... I saw him poking his nose down a couple times. I wanted to make sure I was playing defense there. Really happy with the car. Thanks my whole crew, Scott, my dad, Daryl, Jeremy May. I got to thank Jason Hill, Celestia Hill, everybody who was behind me all the time. Thanks G-Force, G-Force, and Merrittville Speedway.
Awesome, Mike. I know this guy don't like to talk much, but Jay, you're part of the reason we're here. How about it? People, make some noise for Jay from Burger Barn. Jay, you asked Don to have a big race here tonight. You put this deal together with a lot of great help. Let's talk about how cool it is to be racing here at Merrittville on a Friday night.
Yeah, I love it. I appreciate Don for allowing us to come out here and play at these track, and you guys with G-Force and for being here, and everybody that helped out. Glenn and Dan and all these guys. We couldn't do it without everybody, and I know it's a cool night, but we're having fun.
Congrats, Jay. You got one more big race coming up. You got a few cars. Hopefully one of your guys can nail down the top spot. They've been on the podium so far tonight.
Looking forward to it.
Jason Hill, ladies and gentlemen, a big reason why we're racing here tonight. And we want to thank Jay and all his supporters, Aiken Motors, Burger Barn, Ace One Construction, and Petro Plus, along with Pesky Penguin for all they do to help us get here. How about it for Dave Bailey, folks, one more time? And we'll turn it up to Greg and Clayton to take us back.
Thanks, Clint. When we come back, the 360 Sprint Cars will come to life here on Operation Green Flag Mission, Merrittville Speedway on G-Force TV.
I'm Adam Ross, and I sell Hino trucks. If you need a commercial truck, or if you work for a company that needs a commercial truck, email me, aross@mtg.ca. I'm a sales rep for Metro Truck Group, and I sell Hino trucks.
A guy like this, who relies on his truck for work, knows that his truck will take care of him, that he takes care of his truck. And WeatherTech has always been the ultimate protection. From floor liners to no-drill mud flaps, to tech liner for your truck bed, to bump step, to the handy under-seat storage system. And Cup Phone keeps phones secure in any cup holder. Order your ultimate protection today at weathertech.ca.
Tonight's race broadcast on G-Force TV is brought to you by Aiken Motors and Northern Performance. Whether it's for the street, strip, road course, or oval, whatever you need, Northern has it. Proudly serving Hamilton and Burlington since 1977. Welcome back alive to Operation Green Flag Mission, Merrittville Speedway here on G-Force TV. 360 Sprint Cars rolling off, ready to go with their 25-lap main event. They will line up like this. Going from the pole out of Dorchester, Ontario, now Shwegan Speedway, Malcolm Mills Mill riding O'Neill's Farm Equipment. Car number 1 is Holly Porter. To her outside from St. Matthew de Beloeil, Quebec, the AR Aluminum Four Seasons Foundation, 28P Jordan Poirier. Going from the third spot from Dunville and the Kingpin Farms, Burger Barn, Aiken Motors, car number 91, it's Ryan Turner. And to his outside from Brantford in the CarQuest Auto Parts, Brown Auto Service, Strode's Barbecue, car number 10, downtown, Mitch Brown. Starting in fifth from Binbrook in the Nitro 54 variety, Ackland Insurance, Hills Racing number 15, it's Liam Martin. And rolling off in sixth out of Grimsby in the Bowens Automotive Image Factor, car number 90, it's Travis Cunningham. Starting in 7th from Keister Center, the Charlie B. Honey Mudcat Entertainment DSE Performance number 11's Jamie Turner. And starting in 8th from Tilsonburg and Petro Plus Travel Stop, Burger Barn Mobile 1, car number 13, Corey Turner. Going 9th out of Welland in the Ohsweken Speedway, Glenn Stiers Racing, Enrium, car number 14H, the Red Rocket, Jim Hoopinen. And going alongside him from 10th, out of Carlisle, the Nitro 54 Variety, Creative Edge Signs and Graphics, MMBO Direct Marketing, car number 9 is Steve Lyons. Going 11th out of Vineland in the Part Source, Julie Swayze Remax, J&E Towing number 88H, it's Josh Hansen. And from the 12th spot, from Ohsweken in the Ohsweken Speedway Race Source, Enrium Dynamics Ohsweken Speedway, car number 0, the Ohsweken Flyer, Glenn Stiers. Starting in 13th from Brantford in the Strode's Barbecue, Brown Auto Service, Hills Tire and Gas, Little Ben 110, it's Jake Brown. And starting from 14th from Port Colborne in the Goleta Flooring 71 ounce, it's Sean Slider. Starting in 15th from Brampton in the Lifto Limited Toyota Industry Equipment East Penn Deca Battery 70mm, it's Dave McKnight. And going from 16th out of Gore's Landing in the DSC Performance Skyway Line Equipment, car number 2, it's Brandon Burrell. Starting 17th out of Scotland in the Country RV Repair 87X, it's Sean Evans. And rolling off from his outside in the 18th position from Ohsweken in the Ohsweken Speedway Glenn Stiers Racing, Enrium 68, it's Aaron Turkey. Going from 19th from Picton, Ontario, the Jones Automotive CarQuest Auto Parts 11J, Chris Jones. And starting in 20th out of Charing Cross in the Southern Ontario Motor Speedway ERW Contracting number 9B, it's Scott Burke. Going from 21st out of St. Catharines, the Goleta Flooring 22 Junior, it's Alan Goleta. And starting in the 22nd and final starting spot from Fonthill, Golfy Concrete and Drain Fleet Contracting, TriStar Forming, car number 80, the real deal, Chris Steele. 22 drivers, 25 laps. The 360 Sprint Cars proudly brought to you tonight by Nitro 54 Variety, Burger Barn, Ohsweken Speedway Race Source, and Corpac Merchandising. Greg Keldon here in the tower along with Clayton Johns, Clinton Jeffrey down trackside as we get ready for our final feature of the night. And a great shot, a look out of the back of the pace truck as this field gets set to take shape, and salute you the fans here tonight from Merrittville Speedway. Holly Porter, Jordan Poirier on the front row in this one. Merrittville Speedway pace truck brings them around, and now race director Doug Leonard gives the call over the radio for the drivers to take formation, and next time by will salute you, the fans. We've got 100 fans in attendance here tonight and many more watching live at home. We thank you, the fans, for being a part of our broadcast here tonight. This would normally be Canadian Sprint Car Nationals weekend. Unfortunately, that not able to happen, but nonetheless, thank you Merrittville Speedway and Don Spees and family and staff for having us here tonight and bringing us some sprint car racing. Ladies and gentlemen at home, thank you for tuning in, and they are 4 wide and fancy for you, the fans. These are the 360 Sprint Cars, Operation Green Flag, Mission Merrittville Speedway.
This view just never gets old, Greg. Sprint cars 4 wide. Great pieces of machinery, beautifully prepared race cars that sound even better than they look. They break out of that 4 wide formation and get told over their one-way radio. They'll see the white flag this time, and then we'll be green flag racing next time by. 20 laps will be the distance and be the fastest 20 laps of the night on the score clock at the very least, as we get set to bring the noise here. 360 sprint cars with a front row made up of Holly Porter and Jordan Poirier.
All right, pace truck pulling off on the backstretch. Ladies and gentlemen, you came looking for a show. Well, here you go. Let's end all the anticipation as we bring to you our sprint car feature presentation. They rumble, bumble, stumble down into corners 1 and 2, and it looks like they're all going to be clean and green here on this first time through the corners. Poirier out in front, Porter on the bottom.
No surprise as Jordan Poirier used that outside lane to pace himself to the early lead. Mitch Brown trying to get by Holly Porter for the second spot. The blue number 10 uses that bottom lane to wrestle the runner-up position away. He'll try to hunt down Poirier, who has opened up a pretty convincing lead here, half a straightaway. He completes lap number 2.
Poirier out in front, downtown. Mitch Brown has slipped into that second position, and he'll work the bottom, trying to reel in the driver from St. Matthew de Beloeil, Quebec. Now he'll slip up to the high side in 3 and 4 to close the gap.
Good work here from Ryan Turner's number 91 machine. He closes the gap on Holly Ford of that battle for the 3rd position. Rounding out the top 5 right now, young Liam Martin in the number 15 machine as caution flag waving on the speedway here.
Red flag out. We've got one upside down over on the back stretch, and it's Sean Slider, I believe, in the 71S on his side now. So quickly the field comes.
No, it's the 70 of Dave McKnight, I believe.
Oh, is it?
Slider stopped up in turn number 2.
Okay. Oh, 11J is what Doug Leonard is saying of Chris Jones. Well, we've named half the field.
3 out of 22, jeez. Eventually, we're
Chris
going to
Jones,
get it.
yes,
Yeah, it is.
Oh, wow.
There's a car that has an awesome paint scheme here in 2020.
Down the backstretch here at Merrittville.
It is crumpled up now, and we're going to send it down to Clinton Jeffrey, who's right on the scene. Like we're not going to be able to get Clinton, and no replay of that. None of our camera angles picked up the accident on the backstretch for Chris Jones, but there he is. He's to the left of the screen. You see him there talking to the safety crew, and good to see him out of his car. And
another driver traveling quite a way, makes his home in Picton, Ontario, so he's got probably about 3-4 hours home tonight. Another guy that what you would put in the category of one of the nicest guys in the pit area, and he's down trackside with Clint.
Well, Chris Jones, a long drive here from Eastern Ontario. You've been down 2 weeks in a row now. Not the way you wanted your night to end. What happened, Chris?
I don't know. Guy got a little slow in front of me. We got together, and then guys got into the back end of me. So just a rough night.
Is this going to be the end of your Southern Ontario weekend, or is this going to stick around and try and work on it overnight?
We'll see how bad it is. We're suckers for punishment. We'll work on it, see what we can do.
Well, you're smiling. That's a good thing.
Thanks.
Chris Jones, a long drive to get here, guys, but he's going to go home on the hook tonight.
Isn't that just it for racers? For suckers for punishment.
That sums up Chris Jones, though. The guy just, damage to his race car, wrecked it decently, but he's still got a smile on his face. That just tells you all you need to know about Chris Jones and how good of a guy he is.
And he's always been such a talented driver. Now, I'm from Picton as well, and so I got a chance to watch Chris come up through the ranks and driving stock cars and then moving into sportsmen and modifieds, and he never had the biggest budget to work with, but he could beat the best of the best in the East, and that says a lot about your driving capabilities. And that's just Chris Jones. Is so talented. He's won in the sprint cars as well, and oh man, that's a heartbreaking image to see, but hopefully it's a nice thing with the sprint cars, a lot of bolt-on parts. If the frame's not hurt, then possibly they can fix this one. Clinton?
Well, guys, damage report over here for the Jones machine. We talked about he's got a long way to go. So here's the problem. Obviously going to need a new top wing. But this is what we're looking at. The bars, the chassis, everything looks all right. A lot of this stuff is bolt-on. They can fix that. If you're a sprint car guy, you're used to throwing that stuff away. The other concern they've got is all this oil out of the motor. Did it get damaged when it was upside down? They're going to need to service the engine a little bit, guys. But once we get this one picked up, you can see new front axle, bunch of radius rods, new left rear, and a top wing, at least going to be needed if Chris Jones is going to race here tomorrow night. Back to the tower.
Thanks, Clint. Yeah, good look and good laundry list of things, and of all those things that he mentioned, the oil, I guess, is the main concern. That no damage was done to the motor when it went over.
Yeah, the bolt-on parts are, well, not cheap, but cheaper than a motor issue to fix for sure. So hope for the best there for Chris Jones, that it is just a top wing and some bolt-on parts and some fresh rubber for the left rear there that will allow him to compete again before the weekend is over. That number 11 J machine, but meanwhile we're 3 laps in, 17 lap, no, pardon me, it's the 25 lap features. We got 22 laps to go here for the 360 sprint cars, and Jordan Poirier still your leader with Mitch Brown sitting in second, and will be interesting to see how this restart comes together, because Mitch Brown started back in the 4th position and now will be right on the rear tail tank of that number 28 of Jordan Poirier for this restart when we do get back to green flag racing.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back. We'll get the cars fired back up here on Operation Green Flag Mission Merrittville Speedway on G-Force TV.
A guy like this, who relies on his truck for work, knows that his truck will take care of him, that he takes care of his truck. And WeatherTech has always been the ultimate protection. From floor liners to no-drill mud flaps, to tech liner for your truck bed, to bump step, to the handy under-seat storage system. And Cup Phone keeps phones secure in any cup holder. Order your ultimate protection today at weathertech.ca.
Tonight's race broadcast on G-Force TV is brought to you by Aiken Motors and Northern Performance. Whether it's for the street, strip, road course, or oval, whatever you need, Northern has it. Proudly serving Hamilton and Burlington since 1977. Welcome back live. Operation Green Flag Mission Merrittville Speedway on G-Force TV here in Thorold, Ontario. My name's Greg Kellnan. With me in the tower, Clayton Johns. Down trackside, Clinton Jeffrey. As we're just cleaning up after a red flag. Chris Jones rolling over, getting out of the car. He's okay and possibly able to have that car fixed and repaired, but nonetheless, good to see Chris out and okay, and we are close to getting these cars pushed back off and ready to go. Taking a look at our main G-Force TV broadcast coming up, the full package with all the camera angles. Of course, tomorrow night we will be at Brighton Speedway for Applefest Light, and that will include Dirt Sportsman, late models, the Canadian UMP Modifieds, Thunderstocks, Mini Stock Comp 4s, and Vintage Modified 6 o'clock Brighton Speedway. Of course, they do have a limited number of fans in attendance, but those tickets are sold out, so you'll be able to watch it live starting at 6 o'clock tomorrow, Saturday, September the 19th, right here on G-Force TV. And then next Saturday, we will be at Jukasa Motor Speedway for the final 2 rounds of the APC series on G-Force TV. And we've already brought you the first 3 rounds of that series on the asphalt, and we'll conclude everything at Jukasa Motor Speedway next Saturday night. So stay tuned to Facebook and Instagram. Our page is there for the exact starting time for that event. But again, we'll be at Jukasa Motor Speedway next week, and then in 2 weeks' time, we'll be at Flamborough Speedway for Frosttoberfest on the Saturday, and Sunday at Brighton Speedway for Eve of Destruction. Let's send it down trackside to Clinton Jeffrey.
Thanks, Greg. Yeah, a bit of a puddle of oil here for the Jones machine. As it got upside down, it let a bunch of oil out here in the midpoint of the back straightaway, and it's kind of in the upper groove. So they've thrown some dirt back on it. They'll get these sprint cars pushed off, and we'll be ready to go. It looks like they've just gotten the track back in order, guys, and this should not be a problem anymore on the back straightaway.
From that incident.
So it looks like we're pretty close to getting these cars pushed off and ready to go, with Jordan Poirier right now sitting as the leader over Mitch Brown, Holly Porter, who is the pole sitter, back there in 3rd, Ryan Turner 4th, Liam Martin 5th, Travis Cunningham in the 6th spot, Corey Turner 7th, Jamie Turner 8th, Josh Hansen in 9th, and Jim Hoopinen running in the 10th spot with what looks to be 3 laps officially completed in this 25-lap affair. The car is back under power. I'm impressed tonight with Travis Cunningham. He had a very solid run in his qualifying heat. He's running right now just outside of the top 5, and that's another driver that doesn't have a lot of funding behind him, but is doing a really good job here tonight.
Yeah, it's good to see Travis back out here in 2020. He's one of those guys, like you said, suffered some bad luck over the years and doesn't have a whole lot of funding, so if things go wrong, he's probably going to be sidelined for a couple of weeks. And so when you see drivers like that have success like he's having tonight, started 6th, still running in that 6th position while everybody around him seems to have jockeyed for position. Definitely encouraging to see some of those smaller budget guys getting the job done. So hopefully Travis can continue on, maybe come home with the top 5, or at the very least hold on to that top 10 here tonight. Would think that would be a lot like a win for the 9th team here this evening.
So most of the field, I think, is pushed off now. A couple of final cars to get going, and we'll get back to the green flag with still 22 laps left to go. Again, we want to thank Nitro 54 Variety, Burger Barn, Oshwegan Speedway Race Source, and Corpac Merchandising for bringing us tonight's racing action here, the sprint cars at Merrittville Speedway. Pace truck will gather up the field up there in corner number 4. Looks like everyone is under power. In what has been a good night of racing here tonight. We've seen some great battles up the front in the first 2 features. And the question now is, Jordan Poirier going to run away with this one? When you get a driver like Jordan and he starts up near the front, there can be the nights where they take off. But tell you what, there's some drivers behind him that can catch him, and we're going to see what Jordan can do, but man, he is good.
Yeah, he's very good. And to me, he's one of those drivers that burst onto the scene and was instantly good.
Yeah.
Now, he didn't take a lot of time to seasoning. It was kind of like it was a half a season, and then all of a sudden he was competing for victories in the 360 sprint car scene in Ontario and in Quebec. So not shocking to see him towards the front of the field at all in that number 28 machine, but we'll see what Mitch Brown can do. It looked like in those early laps, Poirier was quite comfortable up top, and we've talked about tonight how much Mitch Brown can be effective on the bottom lane of the racetrack. So we'll see how that shakes out here on this restart with 3 laps in the books and 22 to go.
Well, they've seen the white flag pace truck about to pull off, so let's go full force. Let's hear these 360 engines at full song, and let's feel the power of these cars as we go full force here on G-Force TV. I'll tell you what, Ryan Turner looks pretty strong in the number 91. He's up to the 3rd spot right now, trying to track down the top 2. It's Jordan Poirier, Mitch Brown, and Ryan Turner, your top 3. Then a gap back to Holly Porter, where she's trying to hold off Liam Martin. Oh, close contact down there on the front stretch.
And that might allow Corey Turner to get by both of them. He gets by Holly Porter in turn number 2. She comes back at him on the bottom side of the speedway. Not enough to get the job done there. And Mitch Brown trying to keep pace with Jordan Poirier, trying to make that bottom lane work. Ryan Turner still using that outside lane. Seems to be that the cushion is preferred. Jordan Poirier opening a pretty sizable lead, but we'll see what he can do here as he gets close to working into some lap traffic, and it's 2 and 3 wide ahead of him. And Carl around at the top of corner number 2. That is the 87X of Sean Evans.
Yeah, so the caution flag comes out for Sean Evans there, the original Traders Energy Hills Racing. Stiles Tree Service number 87X comes to a stop.
Glenn Stiers hit the pit lane there just as Sean Evans was spinning at the top, so perhaps an issue on the number 0 machine.
And I didn't see what happened there. I was having a lot of fun watching two drivers go at it, and we saw it in the heat race. Corey Turner and Liam Martin throwing slide jobs and going back and forth on one another. Man, that's been fun to watch. Let's send it down to Clinton Jeffrey.
Of the brown car, and that ended up breaking the left front on Glenn. He paced around for about 3 or 4 laps in that 0 car. Then he was going to be the cause of that yellow if it didn't come out right there. He was headed for the pits with a broken left front on the 0 machine, guys.
So Glenn Steyer's headed to the pit area and see if he is able to make repairs there, but nonetheless, thanks Clint for updating us on that as Sean Evans gets pushed off up in corner number 2. Now 8 laps complete. Still 17 remaining here for the 360 sprint cars. Lights coming out. We're coming back to the green flag this time around. Ryan Turner got a fantastic restart that last time. Let's see what he can do now with Mitch Brown right there in front of him. And keep an eye on that battle back there, the 15 and the 13, just duking it out, going back and forth. I'm sure Corey's probably regretting sharing all these insider tips to Liam Martin.
At this particular moment, he is for sure, as they get back on the loud pedal. Green flag action back underway here. 8 laps in the books. 360 sprint car feature here at the Merrittville Speedway. Everybody gets through corners 1 and 2 clean and green, and once again Corey Turner and Liam Martin going at it. Turner getting underneath the number 15 that time in corners 3 and 4. Martin takes it back at the exit of turn 4.
So those two continue at it. Meanwhile, Jordan Poirier out in front over Mitch Brown and Ryan Turner. Ryan not able to make up any ground, and here he goes back by Corey Turner to the inside of Liam Martin. Martin back down to the inside of him, and he'll have the spot at the line.
Those two drivers know each other well and having some fun out on the racetrack right now, and reeling in another member of their team in Ryan Turner, the number 91. Caution flag up in turn number 1. A couple of cars turned around, though. Little Ben 110 of Jake Brown is one of the cars.
Josh Hansen is another.
Josh Hansen.
And I can't see the screen, so I can't tell you who the other one is. There we go.
Oh, Jamie Turner, the third car. That car's got some issues in the left front. Oh, that's too bad. Jamie Turner was running inside the top 10. Or had been running inside the top 10 at one point.
Back under the caution again now. 10 laps complete, 15 remaining. Jake Brown's car looks A-OK. Josh Hansen doesn't appear to have any issues, but obviously, as you mentioned, Jamie Turner with some serious problems there. We'll send it over to Clinton Jeffrey.
Well, guys, down here at turn 1 and 2, Jake Brown got up into the side of Josh Hansen, and that brought this yellow out. They got together. Jamie Turner was trying to navigate his way through the crash scene and caught something on the rear of that car, looks like, or possibly the front. Either way, the CA crew going to work to get the JT 11 car. Yeah, you can see the front end is tore up on the 11 over there. He's got some issues there. Both front wheels facing the wrong way. And we'll see what happens with Turner here. Looks like he broke a tie rod. I think they can push off the Hansen and Brown machines, though, guys. We'll see here in just a moment.
Yeah, it looks as though they may have to put the hook on the 88 of Josh Hansen, but Jake Brown is looking as though he's pointed in the right direction, ready for a push-off, so he may be okay. This is a tricky track for sprint cars. You go to a track, say like an Oshwegan Speedway, that has high momentum, high speed. It's fairly symmetrical, but here you've got the dog leg in the back stretch, you've got the moat on the front stretch, you've got tight corners, you don't have a ton of banking. This is a full night of work for a sprint car driver. Not that it's not at any other track, but it's almost like a road course on an oval.
Yeah, kind of in a way. You're absolutely right. And you've got those guardrails to the inside of both corners as well, so you don't have a whole lot of room for error on either side of the racetrack, really. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a racy place, but you've definitely got to be paying attention at all times because there's not 4 or 5 lanes like there is on a Friday night at Oshwegan Speedway. There's still 2 or 3 really good lines here, but it can close up in a hurry if a couple of cars start to get out of line or out of shape. So, as you mentioned, you definitely have to be paying attention here at Merrittville Speedway, especially in the sprint cars. We've seen a couple of different lines work here this evening. It seemed like the bottom lane was really quick in the qualifying heat races, but as the track is slicked off, looks like that outside lane up against a little bit of a cushion that's being built seems to be the quick way around right now.
So it's Jordan Poirier, Mitch Brown 1 and 2, and then it's Ryan Turner back in 3rd, Liam Martin 4th, and Corey Turner in the 5th spot. So the Burger Barn team cars 3rd and 5th right now, and again we thank Jay Hill and Burger Barn for their support, along with Nitro 54 Variety, Core Pack Merchandising, and of course Oshwegan Speedway Race Source. And I believe we're going to send it back to Clinton Jeffrey.
Guys, just a quick report on that Josh Hansen 88H. When they got together, he had a flat left rear and the rim was all bent up, so they towed him into the pits. Don't be surprised if we see the 88H back out here. Jamie Turner will be done for the night, and they pushed off the Jake Brown 110, guys.
Okay, thanks, Clint. Good update down there. As it looks, we're pretty close to getting back. We'll see the white flag here momentarily. 10 complete. 15 laps left to go. You've been to the Burger Barn, right, Clayton?
Several times.
Several times. So what's your favorite?
It's been a while, so I can't remember what it's called. It's been since last summer I've been there because, it's a 2.5-hour drive for me to get there. Usually I was on a Friday afternoon, I'd make an early run down before racing on a Friday night at Oshwegan that I'd stop in there. But I had a couple different burgers there, and they're all so good. And I think what always got me, I just tell people, it doesn't matter how good the rest of the sandwich is if the bun isn't really good. Then it doesn't matter. Yeah. But the bun is always fresh there, and you can just tell that the beef is so fresh when you eat there at Burger Barn. That's what makes it so good for me. And obviously, there's all kinds of different burgers with fantastic toppings, but the bun is good and the beef is good, so it doesn't really matter what burger you're going to get, but you're going to enjoy it.
And good poutine, too. I had the buffalo chicken poutine once. Oh, it's fantastic. Me, I'm a blue cheese guy, so I like the blue cheese burger. But the breakfast burger and the mac and cheese are in my top 3 as well. I've tried probably too many that I should even mention because it's probably embarrassing. I've got the menu down pat, but get a chance, check out the Burger Barn as we're ready to come back to the green flag. Jordan Poirier will lead them past the restart cone on the front stretch.
Good restart for Mitch Brown, kept pace with Jordan Poirier's number 28 machine. That time down through corners 1 and 2, and going to get a little bit of a run on him coming into corner number 3, but Poirier holds serve here, and Brown got out of shape at the top there. That's going to allow Ryan Turner to slip by in a second.
Wow, good power move there by Ryan Turner. He got the same start that he got 2 restarts ago, and that powers him into the 2nd spot. Now he'll try and close the gap on Jordan Poirier, and I'll tell you what, the difference for Ryan as we go back into the caution flag is Ryan's really good on the outside, where Jordan Poirier is as well.
And it is Brandon Murrow up into the fence here at the end of the front straightaway, corner number 1, number 2 machine.
And that running that top wing in memory, of course, Bobby the pilot, Bobby DeSuage, who was the driver for the team. They called him the pilot, and passed away a couple of seasons ago. So that's the memorial wing there that Brandon Morrell is driving for the Team Turner Racing team.
And speaking of Team Turner, that caution came out at just the right time for Corey Turner, because Travis Cunningham had just gotten by him for 5th in corners 1 and 2 there. The yellow flag comes out so before that lap could be completed, so that negates that pass. But Ryan Turner did get up into the 2nd position. See what he might have for Jordan Poirier here on another restart. 11 down, 14 to go. 360 Sprint Car A feature, final feature of the night here at Merrittville Speedway. First time winner in the Action Sprint Tour Crate Sprint Car division here tonight. Alan Downey picking up his first career feature win in anything, let alone a sprint car. That was pretty cool to see. And then quite the opposite in the the Thunderstock division as Mr. Thunderstock, Dave Bailey. Some things in 2020 didn't change.
Didn't change at
Dave
all.
Bailey still at victory lane in that number 49 machine, and did it from the middle of the field from the 12th starting spot, so that was a good solid race from the Thunderstocks.
And Dave gave them a fighting chance at the start of the year. He missed the better part of the first few races that we had. I believe he dropped a grinder on his foot, a metal grinder on his foot. Injured his foot. I believe that was the story. Bessie can straighten me out on that one. But he missed a part of the start of the season. And but since he's been back, he's back to Dave Bailey, doing Dave Bailey things. So good to see Brandon Merle gets pushed back off. He'll stay out on the track with 11 laps now complete and 14 left to go here for the 360 sprint cars. And we'll be back tomorrow night, 6 o'clock on the air with our full G-Force TV broadcast. Applefest Light from Brighton Speedway, 6 o'clock. Make sure you join us if you're watching right now and you haven't hit the subscribe button already, please do. And right next to it, you'll see the notification ringer. Hit that little bell, and when we have content online, you will get a notification immediately. So make sure you tune in tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, Brighton Speedway, Applefest Light, Dirt Sportsman, along with the late models, Canadian UMP Modifieds, Thunderstocks, Minis, and Comp Force combined together, along with the Vintage Modifieds as well, right here on G-Force TV.
Getting set to come back to green with the 360 sprint cars. Jordan Poirier, the leader, he hits the go pedal and will lead the field past the restart cone, and a great restart for Jordan Poirier. Ryan Turner couldn't quite keep up to him there, and that's going to allow him a 5-car length lead off of turn 2.
Turner up top, he's following the similar line, and he really is hooked up there. He's running the extreme line that Poirier is able to run. I don't think a whole lot of other drivers have felt as strong as they do up there, and then they go down at 1 and 2, and they work the bottom.
And Liam Martin just muscled his way by Mitch Brown in turns 1 and 2. What a move, and here comes Travis Cunningham trying to take that 5th spot away from Corey Turner. Lost a little bit of momentum now, and now Jim Hoopinen's going to come after him for the 6th position. We've reached the halfway point of this 360 sprint car feature. 13 laps down, 12 to go. It'll be 11 this time as Poirier crosses underneath the stand.
Ryan Turner in that 2nd spot, and Liam Martin has muscled his way into the top 3, and it's hard to believe because he was so successful in his rookie year as a crate sprint car driver. He's been good ever since, but I think he's even more impressive right now in this 360. He might be even better. He looks like he can just run so hard with all that horsepower.
Yeah, absolutely, and that Dan Nanico prepared car is top-notch equipment. He slides back a position there as Mitch Brown used that bottom lane to get by the number 15 machine, pushes Liam Martin back into the 4th position for the moment, but definitely impressive stuff from the young Liam Martin in that number 15 machine.
Now a longer green flag run starting to kick in here. We've got 5 laps that have happened since that last caution flag, and that's allowed Jordan Poirier to catch lap traffic, really, I think, for the first time here tonight. So we'll see if that helps Ryan Turner, if it slows Poirier down. In fact, Poirier's got 2 drivers racing side by side, and they're good drivers in Steve Lyons and Jake Brown.
Yeah, he's not going to have a whole lot of room to get by them here, and might get held up a little bit. He gets to the inside of Lyons and might be able to find a line by the number 110 if Jake Brown. He gets by Lyons, and now he'll have to go where Brown isn't, but at the very least, Poirier's not running his preferred line, and that gap definitely closing back to the 91 of Ryan Turner, who also has to get down to the bottom side of the speedway, and Poirier having trouble getting by Jake Brown's 110.
Yeah, Ryan Turner is definitely there. He's in the neighborhood at least, and he is getting closer to that front doorstep of Jordan Poirier. He was now in the thick of it with 4 cars in front of him all racing for position.
5 laps to go for Poirier. Last time by the start-finish line, he's halfway down the back straightaway, still can't get by Jake Brown with Dave McKnight on the outside. Poirier's trying to go right through the middle, and Ryan Turner is right there in the number 91 machine with 4 laps to go.
This is where it's hard for the leader, and it's great for second place. The leader has no idea where Ryan Turner is right now, but Ryan can see where Jordan is getting slowed up, and he can choose to go where he wants to get the advantage. This time by, it's going to be 3 laps left to go. They're 1 and 2 right there, nose to tail.
Ryan Turner is right there. Now he gets to the inside of Jordan Poirier in corner number 2. New leader, Ryan Turner in car number 91 down the back straightaway.
Here comes Poirier down into Ryan Turner. He squeezes it along the guardrail. Takes the lead back. A muscle move by the Quebec driver.
If Poirier didn't know he was there, he found out really quick in corner number 2, and he turned up the wick here in the number 28 machine. There was 2 laps to go. It's a lap and a half now. He works off of corner number 4 to the white flag.
Off of corner 4 they go. Jordan Poirier has a bit of breathing room till the next lap traffic. Ryan Turner, I think, may have run out of time, but he made it interesting in the closing laps. Down the back stretch, they go for the final time through 3 and 4. Checkers will come out, and the winner, once again, Jordan Poirier, will take the checkered flag.
Second spot will go to the 91 of Ryan Turner, and I believe the third spot will go to Mitch Brown. Fourth to Corey Turner, and Liam Martin grabs the top 5 in that number 15 machine. Jim Hoopin and Travis Cunningham, the real deal, Chris Steele, Aaron Turkey, and Sean Slider, the top 10 here at Merrittville.
Interesting finish there, and another win for Jordan Poirier. Sean Evans crosses the line in 11th, Holly Porter 12th, Josh Hansen 13th, Jake Brown 14th, Dave McKnight in 15th, Steve Lyons back in 16th, 17th is Brandon Morrell, 18th, Jamie Turner, 19th, Glenn Stiers, 20th, Chris Jones, 21st, Alan Galetta, and 22nd, Scott Burke. That's how they finished. And once again, the driver to St. Mathieu de Belouis, Quebec, Jordan Poirier, will pick up a victory here at Merrittville Speedway, making the long trip all worth it. Let's send it down to Victory Lane with our Clinton Jeffrey.
Thanks a lot, Greg. He come a long way. He was the first guy I saw here today when we were getting set up for G-Force TV. He was here around 2 o'clock. I asked Jordan, what time did you leave home? He said 7:30 this morning to drive all the way 8 hours from Quebec to race here tonight and pick up another feature win here at Merrittville. He's had a successful season so far here in Southern Ontario by driving down to these events, and he gets rewarded with another $2,000 victory here tonight. And we'll wait for him to work his way out of the Foundation's 4 Saisons machine here from Mathieu de Belouis, Quebec. And here he is, Merrittville fans and everybody watching home, make some noise for your winner, Jordan Poirier.
I don't get the good.
Jordan, come around. I mean, I was just saying you were one of the first guys I saw here this afternoon. A long drive up for you, but rewarded with another big payday. You must be falling in love with Southern Ontario. Time to buy a house down here.
Yeah, I like really the boat track. I think the competition is really good. Luckily, I got good crew with me, good sponsor, good car under me. It make my job way easier. Tonight, I feel like I almost gave up that one on the traffic. I'm usually better than that, but I didn't know where to shoot. When I see the 91, I didn't want the bottom to let the bottom, but yeah, that's good.
Man, the lap cars were giving you fits. Really tough to get around. They nearly cost you this race. Talk about how you have to be patient, but you know you got to move.
Yeah, Jake, I was trying to follow Jake. I knew he was a better car than the one in front, but he kept changing line in front of me, so I didn't want to hit him. But yeah, funny. I'm happy that we were finished.
Well, get some rest tonight. Get ready to go at it again tomorrow. Jordan Poirier gets it done, ladies and gentlemen. How about that? We'll get over here, and Ryan Turner will walk in and shake hands with them. Ryan, let's talk to you for a second. Big night for you. I mean, your teammates did pretty good, and everybody's on the podium tonight, and put up some good numbers for the Burger Barn, Petro Plus, Kingpin Farms team. Talk about your night. Can you be a little bit happy finishing second to a guy like Jordan here? He's the class of the field around here lately, but is that okay with you?
It always hurts. He made one mistake down there. I capitalized it, and we went back down the next corner, and I opened it up back for him. I saw a lot of him. I think he saw a lot of me, so it's a good thing. Means we're up front. A lot to cheer about in the Burger Barn pit tonight. Everyone had great runs there. Ups and downs. Lance got on his lid for the first time. Derek ran fast. Mikey ran fast. Even I saw the 13 on the board there, too, so really happy. I know Jay and Celeste, they do a lot for this team, so it's awesome.
Congrats, Ryan Turner. So run. Mitch Brown, come on in here and talk to me. Mitch finishes third here tonight. Mitch, a tough crew, but we're showing Southern Ontario's got some badass sprint car drivers in the past few years. This class has really taken off.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Like, you make 2 mistakes there and you're back in third, and Jordan was probably the class field all night, but it's a tough deal.
Pretty cool to be back at the track. At least we're here racing, Mitch.
Yeah, it's fun. It's beat sitting at home.
There you go. Mitch Brown finishes third. Ryan Turner second. Your winner, Jordan Poirier, caps it off. We'll send it up to Greg and Clayton to take us home. And Jonathan, thanks for having us here tonight as well.
Thanks very much, Clint, and another great night of racing action here at Merrittville Speedway. Thank you to Don Spees, his family, and staff for being so cordial and inviting us here and allowing us to see some racing here in 2020. And Clayton, good to have you back in the tower tonight. We got to see a first-time winner in the crate sprint car division. Anything but that in the other two, but overall, I don't think we could have asked for much more tonight.
No, absolutely not. Some thrilling finishes all around. We had that last lap pass to see Alan Downey get his first win. Dave Bailey back in victory lane with the Thunderstocks, but it was a tough one to get. Some side-by-side racing, 2-3 wide throughout the field for him to get that one done, and then Ryan Turner making it really interesting. The box score will show that Jordan Poirier led all 25 laps here tonight, but there was about 500 feet there that Ryan Turner led before Poirier stole it back from him. So a real good show from all 3 divisions here this evening, and definitely makes you want to come back for some more.
So don't forget, tomorrow night we'll be at Brighton Speedway, 6 o'clock start time. We'll pack up the circus, and the head clown will be back with me tomorrow night. Adam Ross will be in the tower for that one for Applefest Light. Brighton Speedway, 6 p.m. right here on G-Force TV. Make sure you join us. And don't forget, next Saturday night is the finale for the APC Series here on G-Force TV. Their 4th and 5th rounds to complete the 2020 season, so join us for those as well. So that will wrap things up from here at Merrittville Speedway. On behalf of all of our camera crew, Spencer and Daniel over in the production room, and on behalf of Clinton Jeffrey and Clayton Johns, I'm Greg Kellman saying so long. Thanks for watching Operation Green Flag Mission Merrittville Speedway on G-Force TV. This copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of G-Force TV. G-Force TV would like to thank you for your support and for watching today's broadcast.